Alright, here we go. Time for the grand finals of TTL. And oh my gosh, I have the settings, the overlay wrong. Hera versus Leary. There we go. And clear my scoreboard from last time. Finals, best of 7. There we go, now the scoreboard's right. Now the scoreboard is correct. We got Hera versus Leary in the grand finals. Let's go. Get my game warmed up, get my capture age warmed up. Get my spectator dashboard warmed up. Oh, apparently Gabby versus Lily Bear is going on. Maybe I'll cast that afterwards. At the Queen's Clash semifinals. Right now we got Hera versus Leary. That coffee's hot. How many games do you predict there will be? I don't know. It could be 4-0 Hera. Could be 4-3 Hera, could be 4-3 Leary. Anywhere around there. Somewhere between 4 and 7 games. How am I? I'm excited for this. I'm very excited to see Coast Arena as game number 1. The only downside of Coast Arena being game 1 is that it can't be game 7. Alright, they're in the lobby. Twitch should start playing an ad, so we'll get that out of the way right before the games start. So welcome in everyone. Hello MF. Words of true wisdom. That's right. I'm gonna go on a wild prediction and say 4-3 Leary. 4-3 Leary. Because we gotta have some fun with the prediction. It doesn't matter if the prediction is accurate or realistic. It matters that it's fun. And Leary winning in 7 games would be great. I'm a bit worried about Valley, and that we might have a 3-hour Valley game that runs out of wood. I'm a bit sad that we only saw one clown map. No bypass, no Tulo, no reverse Acropolis, no quarry. But we did get Coast Arena for game 1, and that is an amazing map. Ended up staying in Hamburg way too late last time, and they met 4-3 seems realistic. Yes. Wrong stream title. Oh my gosh, wrong stream title. Thank you. I changed it on YouTube. I didn't change it on Twitch. I'll just put Grand Finals there. I won't put the player names in the title. Thank you. I would totally not have realized that. Now, that's the downside of doing 2 streams. I update one title and don't update the other one. So let's see, they're in the lobby. Coast Arena V3. We're ready to go. I'd love to see a best of 9. It is, oh my gosh, I have best of 7. It's best of 9 on the best of 9. Oh no, it's best of 7. I was wrong. You got me excited there for a moment. Best of 7s. What are we going to see on Coast Arena? Japanese for Hera, maybe, or Italians, or probably not Vikings. I'm guessing Japanese here, maybe Italians on Stranded. How do you fight the Japanese if you're Leary? You don't really have a water save to disrupt the fish boom. I also picked Goths, maybe for Valley. We might finally see someone take the hunt on Valley. Predict that the moon will follow the sun, drought will end with rain, and winter will follow after summer. Well, you know, with global warming, maybe drought will never end with rain one day. That's not a guarantee. Bad maps. Yeah, they needed to pick Zimbabwe and Tulo and Quarry. Oh, thank you for the sub.
Bleda is no more. When Attila returns to camp, he alone will rule the Huns.
Attila will rule the Huns. Thank you very much. That'll be a tier 1 sub counting for Partner Plus. Appreciate the support. And now you can watch without ads on Twitch in addition to YouTube. So Harris picked blue in the lobby. What color will Leary pick? What color will he pick? So here's the question, chat. Do we follow Leary around with his colors? Because he might pick a different color every single game. I think we do. It's the grand finals. You got to keep the colors, unless he goes purple. Right? Blue and green should be visible, especially on a water map. The green should pop up on the water. The mini-map isn't grass, so green should be fine. But also, thank you so much, Kainin, for the sub. We're going to have a lot of streaming next month as we're going to be casting the Brazil LAN qualifiers. I'm actually going to be dual streaming that here and on the Onamaru channel. So I'll need to get all the overlays and tech issues sorted out before I leave for Red Bull. But that ought to be a lot of fun. So in terms of elos, right now, Hera is 2720, Leary is 2373. So that's not going to tell us much. The elos are not going to tell us much about these players because Leary doesn't play ladder. And oh my gosh, Windows just gave me a pop-up window, and I think that means we're launching in on Capture Age. And yes, it does. He played one ladder game this year. He played some of this year's in 2026. I was going to say, he played some team games last year because he had to qualify for cartographers. Oh, it will be Coast Arena. Guess the civs. Guess the civs. This is one heck of a civ matchup, let me tell you. There's a guy named like him, played 2 games, who played more. Oh man, I can't believe we're being blessed with Coast Arena. And again, huge shout out to the Mad Catter for designing such an amazing map. Okay, so in the voice channels, Leary's in channel 1, Hera's in channel 4. Remember, if Hera loses, this will be the end of his S-tier streak. This will be the beginning of the Leary dynasty. Have all those posts, is Hera's dynasty over? There's the Doubt dynasty all along. So 30 seconds. And civs will be Hera's favorite civ. He must have learned how to use them when he was playing for GL, Dravidians. And you know what? I have my drafts backwards. Sorry about that. Let me swap this real quick. Totally have that backwards. There we go. All right, and here we go. We are in the grand finals. We will have game 1 on the lovely, the amazing Coast Arena, originally by the Mad Catter, now featuring some diagonal gates. Leary will be in the green to the northwest as the Armenians, and Hera in the blue to the southeast as the Dravidians. I'll double check the maps aren't bugged. They have all their stuff. They have 5 relics. Lovely, the map didn't bug out. We don't have a bug for game 1 of the finals. So I edited all the map scripts for TTL, and I'm just hoping we make it through the finals without having any map bugs. That would be lovely. And I think they've been pretty good so far, but you never know when danger will strike when you're least expecting it, or perhaps most expecting it. So, Vitality, our new clan, both of them joined along with Heart, but Heart unceremoniously was swept by Lewis, but Leary avenged him, sweeping Lewis back. Leary so far has lost only one single game in TTL. One game against Sebastian in the semifinals. Everything else has been a win. Everything else in the playoffs has been a sweep. The group stage sweeps for him. Hera, not quite so fortunate. He did lose a set to Vinchester in the group stage. He only went 12-3. Did lose a game to Viper too. So with the scout fight, Leary taking a small advantage, 3 extra HP. Have there been any bugs so far? Occasional small bugs. But nothing too bad. I haven't actually had to make a critical update to the maps at all in the past couple of weeks. There are a few small things I would have liked to have done, but I didn't want to risk breaking the maps. So my hope is I'm working on some more map scripting tools, and that for the Brazilian dynasties we'll have, or for Brazilian Dynasty, we'll have even better maps, and we'll keep improving the quality going forward. Confirmed Hera's washed, lost a game to Viper. Well, he won the set at least. I'm a bit curious though, Hera has Japanese in his draft and didn't pick them for Coast Arena. From what I saw, it felt like they were amazing in the current meta, where you can't pressure the fish. that they can boom, they can make hulks, or whatever they want to defend, garrison in the docks. They have, by themselves, stronger fishing ships from their civ bonus. And I don't know how you pressure a Japanese fish boom. Armenians, though, from Leary, he's going to have a lot of map control with churches, and that might have been his versus fish boom plan, to take map control with the churches. And Dravidians can be played in a similar way to the Japanese. Fishing ships have extra carry capacity, so as the fish get pretty far, you can go drop them off at your dock. You can fish from farther away more efficiently. As long as you keep docking around the outside, though, that shouldn't be too big of an issue on this map. We removed the fish from the corners. I'm still looking for something, anything to put in the corners to fill them. Maybe I need some Loch Ness monsters out there. A couple of rocks spawn there occasionally, but there are rocks everywhere. I don't know. It's been months, and I still haven't thought of anything appropriate there. Maybe we just need more water scenery. Maybe we need all the birds to fly to a corner. Anyway, Hera has to be careful he doesn't overchop and get to the outside. The wood lines are kind of thin on this map. So you got to be aware of that. Before attacking the Vil. Taken under the TC. And hunted for Hera. That's what I'd plan to see from these civs. Dravidians going for fish boom, Armenians going for map controlled fortified churches. You do have oysters on the back of your base. You have 1,800 gold in oysters for them in the back coastline. And then at the front, you have your gold and your stone, always forward along the walls, and susceptible to being pressured by churches. How about crocodiles that attack ships? We already have crocodiles, though. Maybe we need sharks to attack ships. Sharks, or do the snakes probably don't attack ships. That'd be silly if snakes attack ships. They could, like, slither up the side of the ship, maybe. I don't know. But the Armenians themselves a good water civ, particularly in the late game. I don't know how Cilician Fleet does against Therissidae, or if Therissidae would ever be a thing Hera goes for. Dromans could be useful for them for some early imp pressure, maybe pressuring Hera's Woodvilles if Hera's in the middle. Bring back the AoE 1 whales? I don't think there were whales in AoE 1. Were there? They were just fish. I know that in AoE 3 there are whales, and there are gold whales now. Oh my gosh, that rock is too close to the fish. Curious. Oh, there's something I don't like. Oh. Okay. I see a bug in the game pauses just to make me look at it. Yeah, I'm thinking though, were they? Because I know there were like occasional big splashes in the water in AoE 1, if I'm thinking. But maybe I'm misremembering now. You got me thinking about AoE 1. I need to go back and play some original AoE 1 sometime for YouTube vids if I ever get time to make them again. I have so much map scripting I need to do recently that I haven't had time. Anyway, the meal carts. Meal cart's pretty nice for continuing to chop as the wood lines are thin. That's what I said at the start. You don't have that much leeway for chopping wood here. Yeah, Hera does have to be careful that he doesn't chop to the outside. Imagine he lets Leary in and Leary just walks forward with Vils into the fortified church. This is live. This is live. And hello, Red Cliffy. They had 250 food. Oh yeah, Hera realized. He realized and he palisaded. Yeah, I guess the whales were 250 food then in AoE 1 compared to the normal fish. I forget what the fish were. Okay, yeah, I guess it wasn't marlins and dolphins, it was whales then. So Leary going out to the berries, have to remember to do a mill on this map. Just like on Nomad, you can't age up if you don't have that market, so you need the mill to unlock the market. Well, you could do a blacksmith with your other feudal building, but then you need a barracks to do a stable or a range. So middle for the market, still cheaper than the barracks for the range or a stable. So Leary on the front gold, saving the oysters for later. It's one nice thing about the Armenians. You can move the mule cart around. And there is Blacksmith Market for Leary as he's walling up the front of his base. Early on in the event, we had seen some transport ships for drushes or forward ranges or men-at-arms, but I don't think that's possible now because of the dock garrisoning. When you can put your fishing ships in the dock, there's no room to do a forward range if the dock can shoot your forward vills. So I don't know if that's still a viable strat or not. There was a great game between Kasva and Classic Pro that unfortunately didn't finish because Classic Pro's power died, but where it was a Spanish conquistador rush against someone who had transported, I think it was Kasva transported to do archers against the conquistadors. There's Hera up to feudal age, Leary clicking up to castle, Leary doing 1 galley, 2 galleys to defend his ships. Hera just fish booming, 19 fishing ships, 13, and that's what we saw from Hera. Even deleting the seawalls. Deleting the seawalls. That's what we saw from Hera, just fish booming. Now, if you're Leary and you scout that the seawalls are deleted, you can just run in on land. I don't know what you run in, though, with if you're the Armenians. Longswords, maybe. Maybe Castle Age champions pouring along the coastline. With how bad demos are these days, you're not really worried about a big demo hit. Hello, Caterpillar. Hello, Garlic Witch. Hera out booming on water again. Yeah, if you see Hera play these maps, you have to know he's booming on the water. I mean, Leary has 13 fishing ships. It's not like he has a small number, but it's not the same as Hera. He moved to galley production, and he's going to have to get some kills with those galleys. Thanks for casting this big Leary fan here. I do have to admit, I am partial towards a Leary victory now. There is fishing lines for Leary. And he'll start attacking the fishing ships, which I think take much longer to kill with galleys now than they did in the past after they reworked some of the math. It used to be 6 arrows. Now I think it's more. Wait. Long-range warships attack 5. 7 pierce attack fishing ships. 1 pierce armor. It's 6 damage per arrow instead of 8, and the HP is 50 instead of 60? Oh, I need to do my math again. So medium warships and Bodkin arrow for Leary. Yeah, so your fishing ships are stronger. They can garrison in docks, and the docks shoot arrows, so it's much more defensive than it was in the past. It's crazy. 50 by 6 would be 9 arrows. Yeah, and it was 6 arrows. I think it was 60 by 8. Or that wouldn't be right either. Had to have been more than 8 then, because there would have been more bonus damage, maybe? Yeah, it certainly is more arrows now. And Hera will start running his fish. But he has a lot of room to run. He's doing medium warships himself. He's gonna hope to go fires. We'll hope that he can dominate with fires. In the long run, I still do think that the galley line is the best ship on water. And Leary has the score advantage because of his dominance on water right now. Here comes the War Hulk to deal with the fires. But Hera always, by being at home, can make the swap in the rock, paper, scissors a bit faster than Leary. Leary will have to anticipate what Hera does. In the middle, Hera doing the same things he did against Viper. Scouts to control the middle, while fish booming on water. And running the fish to the other side. He has a lot of room to run the fish, and he'll start doing fires and hulks. Scouts still patrolling, wanting to make sure that the warrior priests don't pick up relics. And Hera will be going not for monks, but for clinker construction, focusing more on the water, doesn't want to lose the fish. And this is where you have to balance between the land and the water. Hera's going scouts, but he doesn't have a monastery for monks, so he's not picking up any relics with his land control. And now Leary can get on the wood line. He can get on the wood line, and that's a risk for Hera. Losing vills here. No ballistics, so the vills can run, but one does go down. And both players still 1 TC, fighting full on the water. And Leary coming around from the other side now, getting some hulks onto the fishing ships. Hera will defend that with his hulks as he moves the fires over to the war galleys. This is a good fight in terms of the ship compositions now for Hera. separating Lyri into two groups. But now as the galleys come over, they can start attacking the hulks. And it feels like Lyri almost has the numbers for this. Still fighting Hulk on Hulk. This overall will be a good fight for Hera, as a lot of the war galleys are cleared. But Hera down to 12 fishing ships, and Lyri's done what he wanted to do there, harassing the fish and disrupting the fishing eco. And both players at the same time going for a second TC. Hera still with middle control. Lyri doing a few warrior priests. Remember, scouts have an attack bonus against the warrior priests. And the warrior priests cannot attack while they're carrying relics. We have iron casting for Lyri on the way that'll help the hulks, while also helping the warrior priests. As he will be so far away, there was a demo in there. He'll be so far away from Hera that he'll have time to reamass his navy before Hera comes forward, even though he lost the fight. And overall, still a better KD for Lyri, 27 to 19 overall kills. And the Dravidians, maybe not as good of a fish boom civ as the Japanese were, even though they're one of the best. But I think Lyri playing this a bit better than Viper did. Viper was all in on fire ships that were countered by the one ship from Hera. Here, Lyri a bit more of a composition. He sees the fires, reacts with the hulks, kills another Vil. 11 to 2 eco KD. Res collected still exactly the same. 34 or 41 on wood, that's how you play water. Okay, how he can manage it so well. That's why he's at the level he is. Both Hera and Lyri, incredible eco management. And hulks destroying the fires, but now galleys will destroy the hulks. And the hulks all go down. So Hera climbing back, closing that KD a bit. Still hasn't really picked up relics, either player. One got a bit closer to Lyri, but that's about it. We'll probably need a spear to be able to get the rest of them in with the warrior priests. More galleys and hulks on the other side of the map too. And Lyri trying to push on both sides, so pushing ships on both sides, managing your fish, managing your eco. A lot going on, and Hera will now get his first relic. And probably his second right after that. They're pretty close to each other. Lyri trying to amass more warrior priests. And against the feudal scouts, no bloodlines, no upgrades. They should be okay if they simply patrol out and take the fight. Here's Loom for the Lyri. No stone binding from him, so 2 TCs for Lyri. Hera just doing his third now. Feels like he's clawing his way back a bit on the water and staying even in resources collected. Armenians Dravidians late game. Do we see Arumi's swordsman against Armenian Feridor's champions? I think the Dravidians win that, and then they have Dravidian skirms against composite bowmen. And the bowmen should be good against Dravidian infantry. Maybe elephant archers for Dravidians always get scary, but it takes a long time to get there. And Hera has to be careful, well both players do, about transitioning to farms. Because they have such a huge investment into the fishing ships that as the fish run out, they'll start running out of food options. And on the water, feels like a bit of a loss for Lyri on both sides simultaneously. He's doing wheelbarrow now, but he's pulling ahead in res collected. And he'll be doing his third TC, that one in the middle. He'll also be doing a siege workshop right in the middle of the map. But Hera did manage to get 2 relics. Lyri on 3 should get a 4th, so it should be 4 to 2. As the warrior priest should be able to kill that monk. Yeah, there they go. Does Lyri see? He has to see the final relic, right? Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. And now with warrior priests in a workshop, he can pressure Hera. Hera pretty safely defended, though, with all of his TCs. Not sure exactly where Lyri can go, but pressuring that gold, maybe a siege tower hop onto this gold simultaneously could be sick. Sicilian fleet? You mean Cilician fleet? The Sicilian fleet is transport ships and donjons. So there's that upgrade, the clinker construction, I think it was, and then Carvel hull, both for making the ships move faster. No shipwright for the Armenians. The Dravidians do have shipwright. So I'm not sure which civ has the better late game navy. Not sure about that. Both are very different options. And Silesian Fleet demo is not as scary as they used to be, because of the multitude of nerfs that have befallen the demo line. And another fight here. More galley for Leary. More galley for Hera. Enough numbers for both. They're taking a decent fight, and here comes a Mangonel and Ram push. And if Leary goes straight for the monastery, he can try to grab the relics. Some scouts for Hera. I feel like Leary might need some spears here. So far content, though, just with the light cav. Leary won't try to save the Vil. Oh, Mangonel's on Vil. Leary! She could have been hiding in the Ram, but no. Taken down by the Mangonel. So against all the light cav, the Ram not going to be all that useful. And maybe Leary needed to be thinking, you know what, I saw light cav earlier, I gotta be careful with my siege. So there's armor for Leary, he's continuing with the militia and now adding in the barracks, and might think to go for some pikemen. Your Dravidians and you're forcing your opponent into pikemen, you're probably not too upset. Pretty much everything that you do, from the range or even from your own barracks, counters pikemen. So yeah, same Vil count, 86 to 86, and on the water though, it looks like Leary may be getting a bit of an advantage, especially on the right. And if he takes the water, he can start harassing the wood line from Hera. Hera might have to move more towards the middle. Honestly, I wouldn't mind Leary to continue going around and towering the back of this wood line if he has control. That could be sick, actually, or just like building fortified churches. Can you fit them out here? I don't know if you can, that could actually be sick. Hit the wood line from the outside with the churches. Wait. Why was there a tower there? Why is there an outpost? What? Leary. Leary must have walked a Vil there. And Hera noticed. Yeah, Hera's gonna walk a Vil on the outside now. Now, that had to be in just walking, right? Because Hera deleted all the seawalls early on. Does Hera mean to send these Vils forward? Where are they going? Is this a TC gather point issue? Where are those Vils going? Hera's gonna look over and be like, oh my gosh, my Vils are walking forward. Meanwhile, in the middle, though, Monk looking for a conversion on a spear. Mangonel kills the Monk, but not before the conversion. And that's the valuable unit to have converted against all those light cav. They, at the very least, do still have an attack bonus plus 10 against monks, and the warrior priests are indeed monks. And Leary, what is that? Leary, where are you looking? He's looking at, I'm winning the water right now, but lost the Mangonel shot in the middle. Ooh, I'm still liking Leary's position, though. Has the relic lead and seems to have won the water. Relics and water. Hera selling some wood, selling food, selling wood. The booze! Hello to booze. Have you been enjoying any good books the past few days? I'm sure you have. Castle drop coming soon. Castle drop coming soon with all that stone. Now, can Leary pick the Mangonel? He's going for the monk first. I think the Mangonel is the more valuable thing, and the monk will just garrison anyway. Ooh, has to dodge. But you want to clear the Mangonel so you can actually drop the castle. If you pikemen, chasing the light cav around, Hera looking for another Vil pick. Hera will always be microing light cav everywhere. And Leary's gonna drop the castle with one villager right on Hera's stone. But Hera has nothing to stop that here. You might think, oh, put it on the eco on the outside, but no, he's just being like, you know what, it's so much safer here. Put it on the stone, there's extra gold down here to control. Hera's thinking, I have to do a counter castle now. I have to do a counter castle. He's going to send his whole village for it. He's up to imp, so once he gets up, he'll be able to tread that down. And the Mangonel's getting a nice hit on the light cav. Hera, oh, that's not the micro you expect from Hera. And now he's moving crossbows forward. Still trying to pick off the castle Vils with the light cav. He will get his castle up first. Takes a hit on the crossbows. The warrior priest pushing the Mangonel, but it clears one of Leary's first. The castle's up for Hera. This could be a doubt castle from Leary. This could be a doubt castle from Leary. He didn't have enough Vils. He has to abandon it, and he's gonna send another village forward. Mangonel's not hitting those light cav. But by clearing the light cav, now Leary opens up a way to push these two TCs. And if he traps Hera in a Trebor down here, you'd always go for a second castle drop over on these TCs. He's losing even more Vils. Takes Hera off of stone, though. Takes Hera off of stone. And that's big, because then Hera has to come over here where it's more exposed, and he won't be able to do a second castle. But there's Zampin immediately queuing the Trebs. We all know once the trebs are popping, the castles are dropping, as Zach used to tell us. Your book you're reading now is pretty boring? Oh, I'm sorry. I'd recommend some math textbooks then. Those are less boring. Guaranteed. Doubt micro from Hera. No, doubt micro from Lyria on that castle a bit. Ooh, Hera has to bring the crossbows in the gate now. Separated from the TCs by the mangonels. Or you can just micro down the mangonels because he's Hera and he is Bracer. And mangonels won't really threaten them for the moment with Bracer, especially not with chemistry. Yeah, they'll go right down. Nice hit. It's a super in-depth analysis of the Iliad. Yeah, I'm sure there are. That's one of the most analyzed texts ever. Well, I like these flags. Oh, that is a A+ flag, S tier flag even, S tier flag for the Armenians. That's a lot of crossbows for Hera, who takes the score lead. And Lyri's so late to imp that he's going to lose the castle. There's no way he fights that, and he lost a lot of vills just trying to get that up. And it was not worth it for him, other than maybe saving him some time. And now if he goes skirms, then you're playing right into the Dravidians' hands, who just go their own skirms. You have at least 25% fewer words. So time for armor and chemistry first for Lyri, prioritizing armor before Bracer. He will be going for skirms. We all know they're the best unit in the game. And he still has the water, but that kind of scares me for him, seeing Hera has the eco lead even though Lyri, or has the score lead even though Lyri has the water. Only 8 fishing ships, so it's not like he has a huge fish trap boom in the back of his base. And he is open. He has chopped out through to the middle. Does still have the relic lead though, but I'm kind of worried about this late game matchup. Dravidians have the better skirms. But maybe they don't have the numbers just yet. If Lyri can take a fight against the crossbows now, an early imp, he's about to get his armor. Popped out of the ranges maybe a tiny bit too early. But now with armor, he should be great to take the fight. And even more skirms on the way. So 48 military to 31. Some of that is ships, but he should still have a good moment to push now. A good opportunity to push. And maybe get another defensive castle. Hera on stone too, so we'll have a castle from both of them soon. I mean, if Lyri drops a castle right here, that could be devastating. And I'm still waiting for maybe one Droman in the back. Harass the wood line. Don't let Hera chop wood. With the water control, you need to find ways to take advantage of it now. Play on the outside of the map and control the wood. Transport? Don't see a transport anywhere. At this point, the middle's open, so I don't know if you need to transport, but you can go around the outside. So Skirm War now. Both players fully upgraded skirms. Lyri will attempt to make that Farader's switch against the Dravidian skirms. Both players doing what they can to micro. Who is the better micro here? Probably Lyri. But both losing some skirms over time. Skirms here being forced back, and when you get going full skirms, then Lyri can hide this swap. You'll be okay. But a castle fight where, again, Hera already has a 2-treb lead, and will even be killing some vills as they try to construct the castle. Droman incoming. There we go. Droman's incoming. And he's doing it. He's doing it. He's going to control the wood with the Dromans. He will control the wood with the Dromans. If he does this, I think he can win. If he does this, I think Hera can't chop wood. And then, oh, Dravidians can't make skirms, so they don't have wood. So Treb fight in the middle, but Hera should again have an advantage there. Unless, of course, Farader's champions come out and can be helpful in pushing the castle. Remember, champions, when they're upgraded, can push castles, especially if they get arson. Gambesons, whatever was researching Gambesons was destroyed. There's long swords, so it's still going to be a while for Lyri to make this transition. And now he is at risk of losing his relics. His Hera's pushing with Trebs. And you need like 2 more Dromans for Lyri. Look at how much damage that one Droman did. He's got 4. Where are they? Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Needs to sail those oars forward and harass the wood line. So castle fight for Lyri. What he needs to do here is hold the castle long enough that he can get at least 3 Trebs, and then have skirms protect the Trebs from cannon. He needs to trade here on the castles. He can't afford to lose his and let Hera keep his castle up. And what he absolutely cannot do is lose Trebs to that bombard cannon. So Hera will start repairing. Leary lost the relics though, and now Hera is spreading Leary a bit thin. Leary's at 200 pop, but can't hold both sides of his base as he's trying still to do that champion swap, and Hera wants another castle drop, taking all the resources in the middle. Everything in the middle. So where are the other Dromans? The Dromans hitting Hera's wood line, and Hera now struggling to take wood. And if Leary wins this game, it's because he stops Hera from taking wood. Hera investing into heavy warships. So if Hera needs to get back on the water, maybe that's a chance for Leary to push on land. As now that castle looks like it will go down. It's so close to going down. Leary doesn't want to fight until it does. Hera not able to get the castle forward because here come the two-handed swordsmen. Here come the two-handed swordsmen from Leary. Do they have extra HP? He hasn't been able to research Feriders yet. But they will kill Vils on this castle. I don't think they'll stop it with all those skirms. But the castle from Hera goes down. They trade castles. Leary got to 3 trebs. That's what he needed. Enough to destroy the castle. And now as he's pushing with the two-handed swordsman on one side, he's going to come out and push with the skirms again on the other side. And at the same time, he's harassing the wood lines with the Dromans. He's using the coast on coast arena. But Hera's still pulling ahead more in score. Much better KD at this point. Those Dravidian skirms are crazy. And Leary can't get Feriders without a castle. Hera though running low on wood. Only 17 Vils on wood, and he can't retake the water if he doesn't have wood. One Droman gonna be killed by fires. He'll need to move heavily to wood on the other side. Leary has to pay attention to that and get some Hulks out to deal with the fires. He still has wood income. And he's gonna call the GG though. And Hera holds on. He holds on and takes game number 1. Oh man, I love Coast Arena. Kinda not as good with the new water meta, I think. But that was crazy. I think Dravidian skirms are so good on Arena. We heckin' love skirms, don't we? And hello, gentlemen. GG. So what is that? Game 1 win for Hera. Leary finally lost his second game. He's tied his losses of all of TTL so far. 282 kills for Hera. And even with losing the water, Hera stayed equal on eco throughout the entire game. And just a bit slower to imp. That's one of those things where you're ahead on eco but slower to imp. And that let Hera win that initial castle fight. And all the momentum Leary wanted from that castle drop instantly disappeared. Early GG? I don't think so. I think that's, at this point, the only way he wins is if he can stop Hera from taking wood. But Hera has all these bombard cannon, and Leary can't match that, since Armenians don't have cannon. And he's constantly going to be in a losing fight against Dravidian skirms. He can't afford the upgrades for the two-handed swordsman. So if he had fully upgraded Feriders champions, that would be one thing. But he also has no gold control now. Remember, he's taking the oysters on the back, has no control at the front, lost the relics. So I think that's fair. Late GG Vanilla Donuts. Like this was over as soon as his opponent was Hera. He should have called GG right at the start. And let's update this. Coast Arena won by Hera, who is on the right side of the scoreboard. Got that wrong earlier, but that was Dravidians against Armenians. Alright, so next game will be on Stranded. It'll be on Stranded. 450 if you face him in a tournament. They both play more passive. I think the games are going to go longer now. I mean, that is the final game on Coast Arena of TTL, but I think they go longer now in the new water balance. Just because it takes... it's so much more defensive and harder to pressure a fish boom. I think some of the very early aggressive strategies we have aren't possible. Like I said, with those transport ship feudal plays, I don't think it's possible to go forward anymore when the fishing ships can garrison in the docks and shoot your villagers and stop you from making the archery range forward. Or shoot your militia or men-at-arms as they try to walk past to do damage. And let me me get the civs set up. It'll be Maya against Italians. Unstranded. Ooh, alright, Stranded. I love how pretty this map is. Kind of the same theme as Coast Arena, though. Maybe we needed a break between the two of them. So, game number 2. We'll have Hera as the blue Maya to the northwest, and Leary as the green Italians to the south-southeast. Italians versus Maya. So different bonuses for the start. The Maya will get that extra Vil once the TC goes up. Since they start with the fishing ship and can do the house, they won't be housed and won't need to do loom. Pretty decent nomad start because of that. The Italians will have cheaper fishing ships and a cheaper feudal age. It's a situation on this map where there isn't much stone, so difficult to get a castle up. But I do think it is extraordinarily hard to deal with the Maya on Stranded if they get to plumed archers. We saw that in the set against the Viper. Not that much mobility from the Romans with scorpions, and the plumes can run around. The Italians, what do they do against plumes? Their only real option would be skirms. I don't think condottieri do all that well against them. Plumes do have an attack bonus against infantry, and since it's not a gunpowder bonus, I think the condottieri don't resist it at all. And the Vitórias are the Portuguese. That's the Portuguese. So if we have a wood game on Valley, that's where you use the Portuguese. And I'll have a house there from Leary. Vil's on the wood, and Buffalo taking 2 hits from the Vil. Yeah, the Buffalo have 14 HP. I don't know why, but they have more HP. I guess just to make them harder to lame. Since all the food's a bit more valuable. So, house for Hera. And it's just going to be a fish boom. And I wonder if Hera plays this with a huge fish boom like he did the previous game. The Maya, a Civ, that shouldn't do all that well on the water against the Italians. But at the very least in this patch, they do in the late game have that catapult galleon. So just like the Droman, they don't need chemistry to research it. Or they don't need to research chemistry to unlock it. Both players doing the TC between the gold and the forward wood line. And as we've seen Hera on this map, he likes to save the elephants. Save them for later. Kind of a weird strat that you don't take all of them in the Dark Age like Leary's doing. Going for the long distance lures. But it did work out for him in the Viper. He was being pressured and he needed to throw down farms, but oh no, he didn't need farms because the elephant was there. And if you have all the fish in the early game, maybe you're thinking, oh, I have a huge fishing eco, I don't need the elephants in the Dark Age. I'm going to stay Dark Age for a while anyway, to fast castle, and can rely on the fish rather than the hunt. Maya will have a longer lasting hunt anyway, so he just doesn't want to lose the elephants at some point. Imagine Leary goes feudal archers and kills the elephants. I don't think there's going to be any feudal age pressure on this map these days, though. I think it's all going to be fast castles. In part because of the very defensive water meta. There's another house for one of Leary's Vils. And Hera mostly walled. Interesting how people wall on this map. Finally he's taking an elephant. Or if he's not. Maybe that's why he didn't take the elephant earlier. He didn't want to show off that even Hera fails with lures sometimes. Not that big of an issue, though. Just the good old diagonal hit, where your Vil runs away on the diagonal so fast that the elephant doesn't chase. I do kind of miss the days when you had to shoot the boar twice. But 8 fishing ships to 9, both players booming and fishing away on Stranded. Another lumber camp for Leary, and he will be the first one to click up at discount as the Italians lets him go up fast. And Nomad style, well, it is a Nomad map. Hera using the Water Buffalo to scout for the dock. We'll miss Leary going for another dock, though. He'll be docking the corner looking for more fish. Oh, Leary, what is that lure? Losing HP on the Vil. As Hera scouting now, he'll see the house, so he knows Leary's over here then. Has a decent idea of where they are. They did TC pretty close to each other. Only 3 neutral golds between them, as opposed to 5 on the other side. Don't Maya have the full dock options in text but cannon galleons? They have now. They miss the dry dock. They miss the second clinker construction, Carvel hull. They miss that. They miss incendiaries on their fires. They do have fully upgraded galleons, Carracks, which is the Hulk line, and fast fires, and demos. You don't see demos these days, but yeah, I guess it is a pretty good dock in the late game. The missing cannon galleon can hurt, though. That's true. The water tech tree has been all changed around, and I need to reevaluate where the civs stand. Aztecs were always one of those civs where they didn't have galleons, so they didn't have a great water late game, but they could go fast fire, and their military production bonus applied to their docks, so they made the ships faster. And could still be kind of sneaky on water maps in some situations. But again, the lack of cannon galleons meant you didn't have the same coastal presence. Why nobody goes straight to the middle? 1, it's farther away, and 2, there's no gold in the middle. So if you go all the way up here, you're going to put yourself a Vil behind. And you're not going to have any defense for your gold on the outside. So if your opponent sees that you're there, then they just loop their army around to the side and attack you out here, when you do have to be out here anyway to take the gold. So there's Hera up to feudal. He's doing loom. He's doing a barracks. And I imagine it'll be crossbows for him. Leary opening with archers. One Hulk for Leary. Hera, again, more heavily investing into the fishing ships, 15 of them. Fishing lines for Leary. Yeah, Hera already res ahead. Well, that's the Maya. That's what having 1 extra Vil at the start can do. And look at that fishing ship difference. And just the fact he's clicked up a bit later, what has that done to the eco counts, giving him a 10-unit lead. So Leary will have to do damage with the archers, but it always can be difficult to do damage on nomad maps when your TC protects so much of your eco. And that's what we're going to see here. Hera's walled on one side. His TC, he maybe has to run off of this wood line, but should be safe everywhere else. And the question for Leary is, does he go for the TC or does he go for the outside? Hera's chopped quite a bit of wood so far. Hasn't over-chopped, though. That is walled between the tree and the house. I mean, there clearly is a gap there. You could walk through that, but not in Age of Empires logic. Is Leary up to the Castle Age? There's foraging also from Hera. As the archers go around, and Hera will have to run the Vils. Go back, and double barracks going for eagles. Double barracks, triple barracks eagles. 1 range and triple barracks eagles. Saw the archers from Leary and decided, I'm going eagles. And what Leary's going for a forward workshop. Is that the answer to eagles? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Hera hasn't sold the stone yet either. So the range was his second building for clicking up, but triple barracks eagles now. On the water, no one fighting, just a few hulks from Leary. 1 hulk from Hera. And Leary did come forward. Harass the fish a bit. So Leary has closed that eco gap just a tiny bit. 2-1 Eco KD. Oh, did Leary lose? Oh my gosh, I missed it earlier. Eco KD 2-1. He lost a build to a lore. Oh no, Leary. So we saw him struggling, but he also lost a... Oh no, it's not even a scout to control. All you have to do is lure Leary. Oh no. Yeah, and here come the Eagles. They should counter the crossbows fairly well. He went for a ram? What is... He scouted one barracks. He didn't scout the triple barracks Eagles. He didn't have the scouting. Oh, this is not a ram situation. There's nothing to fight the Eagles now. He has absolutely nothing to fight them. Hera's 1k res ahead. 6 crossbows. Once the Eagles get their upgrades in their armor, they jump this. You can get enough scorpions out that the Eagles can't fight you, but that's going to have to be Leary's hope right now, that he gets enough scorpions that the Eagles can't fight, and that he keeps himself safe enough at home that the Eagles can't raid. But they can pick off reinforcements now. 2 scorpions I don't think is enough. Maybe Leary can pressure the gold and stop the Eagle production? And, ooh, nice quick walls. Alcatraz saving the Vil. Eagles running forward, and now what type of fight will Hera take? Comes down to how effective are the Scorpions. Can the Scorpions kill the Eagles? Hera has a lot of Eagles surrounding everything. He will clean everything. And is this GG? The Scorpions all go down. Eagles going around both sides of the workshop. The fight was behind the workshop, kind of hard to see, but Leary will lose everything. And this is so awkward. I don't know what Leary was thinking. Forward workshop against triple barracks Eagles? Was he thinking Hera was just going to go archers or boom? He had to have been anticipating crossbows from the Maya and hoping that he could go crossbow Scorpion plus siege to counter crossbows, but no, it was Eagles. It was the other unit the Maya can make, triple barracks Eagles. And Eagles are great on this map when it's hard to wall. Your TC protects you in feudal, but then when you hit castle, you're later in the game, you've chopped your wood line, you have to expand. The Eagles can get everywhere. Hera can go through the house, you can see it's open on the side. And scale barding armor from Leary, what is he going to do now? Knights? Hera is going to have numbers. He will have the numbers on the Eagles. Leary will have to hope that... Oh, he's killing some Vils with the Hulks. Have to hope that maybe he has a fishing advantage. He's been disrupting Hera's fish a bit. 9-3 Eco KD, so he has gotten some Eco kills. Hera's going to stand under the TC for a bit. No ballistics for Leary, and Hera has scattered that stable now, so he sees and anticipates the Knight switch. Hera howls for a bit. This is where I think he could even sneak in a second TC. Maybe over here between the wood and the gold, or out in the back by the wood and the stone. And Leary now, if he's defending by the TC, he can pick off the Eagles. 43 to 43 Vils, but still over 1k res collected ahead for Hera. And he can pressure the range for the Eagles. The relic's part of the wall. Now time to pick the relic up with a monk and let yourself in. Hello, Twitch fans, 2K26, how you doing? Surprisingly good defense, but that's not enough. Yeah, I think this is a win for Hera. I'm afraid. I'm very afraid. Eagles going down to the crossbows. Bills want to do a house. And they will get the house up. Eagles here go down to the crossbows. Crossbows kill the Eagles, Knights kill the Eagles too. And this is a good fight for Leary. This is a good fight for Leary. Lost the range, but had enough Knights that this was okay for him. And he's hanging on. He is hanging on by a thread, but hanging on nevertheless. On the water, feels like maybe Hera pushing back a bit, went to the medium warships upgrade. Leary's fish are exposed. At the very least, they can garrison in the docks, but he has to notice this. Feeling great to watch the finals? I'm hyped for this, but Leary needs to step his game up a bit. First two maps have felt like, in some ways, a civ advantage for Hera. Maybe that's just the bias of Hera's so good. Any civ looks like a civ advantage. Oh yeah, we have the sails that change. The sails that change again. They go from the Mediterranean to the African sails and they attack. Yeah, this is the bug. It's not just capture age, it's in the game too. You'll see them. They swap their sails and they attack. This is so silly. But they swap sails. Oh, there goes. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I don't know how that broke, but it did. Meanwhile, the Eagles take out Leary's workshop. He has 2 rams. Rams aren't going to help him against the Eagles. He has a lot of crossbows and knights, though, so trying to play crossbow plus knight against the Eagles needs the combination. Can't just go knights because then Hera goes heavy into monks. Bloodlines for the Eagles. Leary needs to wait for Bloodlines to take a fight. I don't know if he'll have time for that. 40 seconds. Eagles getting the surround on the back. They should be able to take out the rams. Maybe Leary could ram the monastery? Well, that'd be good if he stops monk production. I still don't think he has the numbers for the fight. Well, it is a bit awkward. Hera's army is split up. Leary has to go back to the hill. And still fighting before blood. Look at all the Eagles, 24 Eagles. Deja vu on this hill. Leary's going to be cleaned up again. He hops inside the rams because why not? He can, oh, he can't even flee with the knights. The Vils are going to wall him in. Hera on point. There is the GG. And nothing went right that game at all for Leary. Everything going wrong for him. Didn't scout the barracks, went for the completely wrong strategy in the matchup, the forward workshop with a ram. He was anticipating archers and did not anticipate the triple barracks eagles from Hera. He didn't even sell the stone for triple barracks eagles. But he had the flexibility. By going up blacksmith plus barracks in range, Hera gave himself the flexibility to do either build, and as he had much better scouting, chose to go Eagles, and it was the absolute right call. So, GG there, and Hera's up 2-0. 46-39 KD for Hera. Eco much better for Hera, and GG. So again, I'm going to just play the ad between the games, and you can, of course, always check out YouTube if you don't want to see the ad while I update the menu. I'm out of coffee now. I need more coffee. Looks like African River will be the next map. And for maps, that will be a loss for Leary on Stranded. And for civs, it's his very first pick Italians against the Maya. And that hurts in terms of the civ drafting too. And the next map looks like it will indeed be African River. Ooh, sweep? Could be. Imagine having ads like Peasants Hello Blood of the Hun. Ads are for Attila. Yeah, the Eagles have landed, the Agalos have hoovered, and Leary is down 2-0, and it's a best of 7, not a best of 9. Not an incredibly long finals. Lands to the spec dashboard, that's what the 2-minute spec delay does. So Leary's going to be changing his color up, he's changing his color. He's going to yellow this game. He will be going to yellow. And for African River, no surprise on the Civ matchup. It will be Wu for Hera and Japanese for Leary. We'll hop into that, get a 90-second spec delay. So, what do we think in chat? Will this be a sweep? Leary's now lost twice as many games as he has all of TTL. Could not have been in better shape heading into the finals than he had been looking so far this event. But it has not been good for him so far. Not at all. Hera 4-1, the IO. Inputting 4-1 as the output of the set. I'll get the blankets ready. You're not getting the brooms ready for the sweep, though, at least. Is Leary picking open maps a mistake? I mean, I feel Leary would have the advantage in open maps compared to closed ones. I feel that Leary should have gone Japanese for Coast Arena, though. I don't know how that late game is against Dravidians, though. But he's going Japanese here for African River. There's a bit more tentatively versus Hera. It's interesting, though, because Hera is probably the one player that Leary won't simply dominate by out-microing him. Anyone else, Leary can win games simply by having better Archer micro. Not like that happens all the time at the pro level, but you look at every engagement that he takes, and he's never taking a bad engagement. So Hera, at the start, goes forward with the scout. He's hoping that Leary scouts with the water buffalo, and he's planning on stealing them. Hera himself will be scouting with the buffaloes, all 4 buffaloes to the back as he takes the shorefish by the TC. And at some point, we will probably see Hera sending a buffalo around the side to see where the dock is. Leary is scouting out on the side, sending his scout forward, sending a Vil to dock. He's scouted the dock spot. And Leary, lucky that Hera didn't manage to find one of those buffaloes yet. Don't think Leary has seen the scout back there. It's been in the explored area, not the active scouting. And there are Vils heading to do a lumber camp on that wood line on the acacia trees. And there will be a lumber camp for Hera. Scout also for Hera. And Naval heads over towards that wood line. Ostrich getting pushed into the TC. And there it goes, taken by the Vils. TC takes the Rhino. And the Ostrich will be pushed in here. Oh, Hera, go for the double push. Double push. Line it up and go for the double push. Is Hera a double pusher? Is he going to go for it here? Going for the double push? Not the cleanest double push. That could have been better. Could have been much better. He'll go back. He'll go back. Leary actually makes long swords. If Hera makes Jin swordsman, the win is his. Well, we'll see. That's interesting because the Jin swordsmen don't have to fight the long swords. They're faster. They can run away. I don't know. I think oh my gosh. Leary, he's afraid of a drush. He's afraid of a drush. He's already walled in the lumber camp. So going kind of for a south wood. The other wood's kind of far away. So his map isn't the best with the far wood lines. Hera has 2 close wood lines, but then maybe a bit farther to the south. Finds the dock. And Leary will have his dock up first, going for the fishing ships. Japanese fishing ships, always scary. Hera did not do loom. And Leary did not either. So there he goes up in Vils now. He needs to make Cobra cars. I mean, honestly, I'd be scared to make Cobra cars against Hera. He'd probably just go monks and convert them. So pause by Leary. I wonder if that's an admin saying, hey, your wood lines are awkward. And Leary's just like, yeah, that's probably an admin re for the awkward wood lines, I'm guessing. You can blame me for that. Usually they're not that bad on this map, but they're probably like, hey, Leary, you want an admin re, your wood lines are horrible. And he's saying, yeah, around 5 minutes into the game. That's the downside of having a 2-minute spec delay. Admins take 2 minutes IRL to load in, so it's really 4 to 5 minutes before they can check the map, and then they need to discuss a discussion like, hey, is this bad enough? And then need to jump in the voice chat. So who made this map? Some noob map scripter, I'm sure. It wasn't my script originally, but I did edit it for this, so all the bugs are my fault. Here he's missing a wood line. Well, he's not missing a wood line, just the wood didn't spawn close to him. JVR saying it's missing when it just isn't close. Well, at the very least, there wasn't any intense laming that game. I'm blamed for all bugged maps. Only when I do the maps. I, at the very least, had nothing to do with the Red Bull maps that didn't spawn vills for the Gajurs. That was crazy, though. I have no idea how a map script would fail to spawn vills just for the Gajurs. Alright, so hopping back into the game again. Brief spec delay, and then we'll get going. Once more unto the breach. Dear chat. And here we are, a second time, and I think the wood lines are fair. 2 for Hera. Now Leary has Black Forest. Now he has 4 wood lines. But Hera at least is a clear 2. Imagine we add Marie again, who's like, oh, Hera needs more wood. Wood lines are... Well, now Hera's actually going to be better with the laming he wanted to do. So he has a second chance to lame, and he will pull it off, this time taking 2 buffaloes. Leary gets 1 back right away. And with his scout, might be able to grab that back again, too. Alright, so this is... I might have accidentally given Leary some Rage Forest code for this one. Will he find his buffalo? Oh, he's a tile away from seeing his long-lost buffalo. Yeah, that was Hera's plan. You take the fish under the TC, scout the back with the buffalo, and then try to lame an opponent who's doing the same. No loom for Hera, but with the scout hoovering around, Leary won't be able to jump on the vills. He'll have to get away. So, decent wood for Hera at least, but he doesn't have a wood to the north of his base. Could be awkward if he has to go all the way around there. And dock for Leary. And Zebra taken by the villagers. So there is another house for Leary. And Zebra will now be pushed in by that scout to the TC, and should be more food as leaving the rhino out there. I guess focusing on the pushes and leaving the rhinos for later. And actually, wait a minute. Where's Hera's dock this game? Did he not dock this time? He's the woo, he didn't dock. Yeah, what is he doing? He's deciding I'm not gonna dock? 5 on wood, luring the rhino. He might just not dock. Oh wait, no, never mind. Okay, there he is. I was thinking, is he gonna just skip the dock and go for an early drush? No, he's docking. Okay. Ooh, I was worried there for a second, like, what's he doing? Not picking bright standout color like Leary is with the yellow. The blue to blend in more with the water. Yeah, Japanese thing, super quick dock too. You save 50 wood on the lumber camp so you can do the dock just a bit earlier. And you get your extra efficient fishing ships out, and you have a really nice Dark Age with them. You go up very fast. There's the ostrich pushed in to the TC by Leary. Hera going for more pushes himself. And of a barracks going up for Leary 2. So barracks early for the Japanese. No surprise to see them going for men-at-arms. And how will Hera react to that? It's a very interesting wood line, but you have to remember with the acacia trees. Acacia trees spawn when you place down a terrain for them. Every tile of the terrain has a 75% chance of spawning a tree, and the trees have 150 wood. The Bobab trees have 200 wood, but it's only a 50% chance. So the wood line's pretty holy, and you have to be careful with how you wall. Fishing ship count is 3 for Hera as he does loom and is about to go up, and he's adding more fish. Scout will be well, you can't attack the fishing ships anymore because they can just garrison and shoot your scout, so... Now, there goes any plan of Dark Age harassment on the fishing ships. Now that I think about it, if you remember the map Cup from Hidden Cup a few times, militia could drush on that map and harass the fishing ships no more. Oh, that's a big change. Anyway, men-at-arms from Leary, he's going around the top of Hera's base. Barracks for Hera, but he won't have the numbers out right in time to deal with Leary. And neither player going for... Oh, actually, what is that Vil from Leary doing? Does Hera spot that? He doesn't. Leary could go for a forward dock behind this. Ooh, okay, Leary getting sneaky. And Leary getting a bit sneaky. Dock on one side, men-at-arms on the other. He's going to hope to harass with the men-at-arms while distracting and going for the dock. Actually, wouldn't mind doing the dock kind of on the outside, because then you're less likely to be seen. What is Hera looking at? He has men-at-arms on, or militia to turn into men-at-arms on one side. There's a scout there from Leary 2. Let's just see if I can grab everything. I'll see it in the fog of war. Ooh, just doesn't see the Vil. And there are the militia on one side. Is he going to go for a tower on the wood line? Yeah, Hera are immediately taking 2 woods. And he's getting 3 militia himself, but the men-at-arms upgrade coming in. As the Japanese, he could even do arson right after that and attack the houses. But yeah, it'll be a tower for Leary. That'll be pretty nasty on one of the wood lines, but Hera at least has a second and is immediately going for a range. At home, range also from Leary. As he is going to be fully walled up against Hera's men-at-arms. Needs to make sure he doesn't overchop and let them in. Also has to be careful of that outside Vil. And he's got 6 fishing ships. No one going for a warship yet, just focusing on the land pressure, and Leary will look to wall that tower in once it goes up. And the tower should be able to harass the gold Vils, and that'll be key if they have to run, and then Hera can block the light cab and snipe the men-at-arms. So that's the key right now for Leary, to force Hera to run, force Hera to do more houses, and just be as annoying as he can with the men-at-arms. And now, defensive tower going up for Hera. Maybe this is even a situation where Leary could consider attacking the palisade, because Hera can't re-wall now because of the tower. At the same time, though, the men-at-arms have gotten in, and now they're on Leary's Vils, but Leary defending with his own men-at-arms didn't lose a Vil, and that was actually great for him not to have lost a Vil and to have killed the men-at-arms. Low HP scout now for Hera. Low HP scout for him. Hera will win this tower fight, but we'll have more idle Vil time putting 5 Vils in the tower to shoot that down. Forcing Hera still to repair on the gold. An archer out now. Men-at-arms maybe just pressure the palisade. Still no one fighting on water. Leary with a single Hulk. And forcing Hera to wall behind. Losing some gold access. So much idling. Leary up by 500 res collected so far. Japanese fishing ships, 6 of them against 4 from Hera. Finally a map where Leary has the fish advantage. And now he has skirms. Skirms coming forward. This is looking pretty good for him, I think. Still managing the TC. Clearing up those men-at-arms was huge. And he's going for a second dock. That scout from Hera is still very low. Won't be helpful against the skirms. And tower cleaned up. Leary will have to run away. But he's done the damage he needed to do, I think. Second range for Hera. And now the men-at-arms can think about attacking these houses. Leary also has 6 men-at-arms now. He's sending more forward. If he does arson, then all of a sudden he punches right through the houses. And with only a couple of archers and not enough skirms, Hera can't fight the skirms, especially with his scouts' HP being so low. Hera's still with the score lead, but I think I'm preferring Leary's position here just a bit. Stable from Hera. But upon seeing that, Leary can swap to archers, or think about adding in a couple of spears. He does need to see the stable, though. Scouting that is crucial for him. Oh, and his Hulks are going around the outside. His Hulks are going around to try to harass Hera's fish, and he just has to hope that Hera doesn't see this, but his scout's right there. He loses the scout. Loses the scout, but sees the Hulks. Does he garrison the fish, though? Did he actually notice the Hulks? He's still walling at the front. And he's going over towards the fish right now. Hera should see them by the dock, but again, he's microing down here. And Leary bringing more skirms forward. There's armor and fletching for them, as the men-at-arms still attacking the houses. The scouts will be hard to use with so many men-at-arms, and the Hulk's going for the fishing ships now. Hera's not realizing in time. He loses one, only loses one. They hop in the dock. Hop in the dock. More Hulks from Leary, but he has to be careful not to overinvest into water now. He's 6 and now a 7th Japanese fishing ship. And now he has to fight the scouts. And this will be a tricky fight for him. He'll need to use the men-at-arms properly. Horse collar for Hera, who realizes he needs to do farms. Five men-at-arms could maybe go for the range there. Okay, interesting. Still the skirm advantage for Leary, who will keep pumping them out. Has to make sure he doesn't abandon his men-at-arms with the skirms, though. Tricky to take the fights. Also has to have men-at-arms to fight the scouts, but he's thinking of diving the archers with the skirms. And another 4 at house. So far, so good attacking the dock, though. Hulks can stay inside the minimum range. And in this situation, I don't think you're ever worried about a demo. Does he remember it's a feudal age tech now? That's a good question. Oh, he does, he clicks it. Right on cue. Right on cue. Okay, there he is forging also for Hera. Archer's going down. Archer's going down to the scouts, but... I mean, the skirmisher's going down to the scouts, but the archer's also being cleaned by the men-at-arms. Now the men-at-arms kill Hera's scouts, and that was great for Leary. Another archer killed by men-at-arms, and the range is almost destroyed. Hera has to panic repair a panic wall. And Skirm still controlling the fight. Leary pulling ahead in score. Archer down. Hera trying to amass more scouts. And the men-at-arms, so much tankier against the skirms than spearmen would be. They end up being a nice counter to the scouts. Now, is there any potential of a counter raid? Leary's pretty well walled. Going to be finishing his berries. He'll need to keep his vills working. But he's on 8 Japanese fishing ships right now. Finishing the fish by 1 dock. He's doing another dock to the southeast where he can move his fish over. Don't think Hera can harass that, as Hera's about to lose his dock. Has lost all of his fishing ships. And full water control now for Leary as he's taking a fight. Will be killing a Vil. If he's killing Vils, he's not killing scouts, so has to be careful of that. And doesn't want to lose the skirm mass. That Vil's on 1 HP goes down. That's now 7 eco kills for Leary, as the scout is killed, and picking off the scouts is crucial as it keeps the skirms alive. And there's Castle Age for Leary, who hasn't scouted Hera in the middle. Would love a dock in a demo, but Castle Age first. Hera's nowhere close to Castle. And Leary now can get back. He can get back, wait for Elite Skirm, and doesn't need to fight. Doesn't need to fight. Has anyone docked the center and attacked the TC? Not that I've seen. I actually don't know how it works in the new water meta. I think in the past it would have been great if you're going heavy archers, and you're doing Balkan anyway. You do War Galley, and then attack the TC with War Galleys, because they had quite a big attack bonus against buildings. I haven't tried that with all the stat changes, though, so I'm not sure how effective that is. If you remember the map Spiral from RMS Cup, and I think we used it for either previous TTLs and maybe a Hidden Cup, you could attack the TCs pretty well from that map. Yeah, go Larry, please don't go down 3-0. At least go 2-1, make it a set. I did predict 4-3 Leary. So we don't want a repeat of the Hidden Cup LAN, where we went there and Hera swept so quickly that the pizza didn't even arrive. If this is not a Leary win, then finish the sentence, MF. Don't just leave on a cliffhanger there. There are no cliffs on this map. So Skirrim's attacking the Vills. There's Leary up to castle. And Longsword's chainmail armor. He's going longswords. Let's go. Double barracks longswords. Some scouts are in. Leary, don't Titanic all your Vills here. He's going to turn and fight the scouts. They don't have bloodlines, so at least the Vills can fight them. They only have forging. Leary right-click the Vills. He's worried about fighting at the front right now. There, Hera's going to call the GG. Hera just as Longsword comes in. Okay, at least we get to see Longswords. They don't have gambesons and armor. They didn't take a fight, but we got to see them. We had Longswords for Leary. And he now will at least get himself on the scoreboard, winning on African River. Everything went right for him right from the start. Even the adminry for the missing wood line, but 37-24 KD. More res collected. And GG Leary. Long swords for the fans, yes. Hera, let us have them. Arbase DMing me to complain about the wood lines. Alright, so you know the drill. No ads for YouTube. And apologies to Twitch. So here we are. That was a win on African River for Leary. And with the civs, that was Japanese over Woo. And we'll see what are we going to have for our next map. It will be a Valley for the next map, and Leary's back into the green. Hera needed to get 15 eco kills to even that out. Well, I don't think evening that out was in the cards. And, oh, on YouTube, baseline god, hello. Welcome. Now, Capture Age pops up a command prompt window whenever it launches into the game. Or maybe that's just DE, or the Spectre, I don't know. Maybe it's just a Firefox thing, the URL helper. Well, this is a Civ matchup. Goths for Hera against Vietnamese for Leary. Goths against the Vietnamese. It's the URL helper in Firefox. Windows was just doing that sometimes, like popping up a couple of command prompts. I don't know if that was somehow my driver software for my mouse. I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, Valley. With the Goths. Will we see players go for the middle? Will we see them go for the hunt in the middle? Romans also could have been a pick here, but they're going to be saved from Monocle probably. Also, it's not Mongols. Are Mongols for high tides for Hera? Mongols are not the civ on the hunt map. Players are so averse to taking the hunt on Valley that even with the Mongols, who should clearly be the best civ, with a limitless hunt, are not picked. I'm running window. I really need to swap to Linux. I need to go back to Arch. Don't need to fix it, map is done. It's not fixed for the Community Cup. But to be honest, African River has so many little weird quirks with spawns, I think I would need to remake it. It was one of those maps I'd never really used before, so when I first looked at it, I was like, this script's fine. And then we sat down for a long time and made some changes to it, but still didn't have enough for woodlines. Do I use Arch? I have in the past. Right now I'm just Windows 11, because I need to run Capture Age for casting. I have heard people have managed to get it running on Linux, though, so maybe I need to make a switch. Alright, and here we are. Game number 4 on Valley. It'll be the light snow version of Valley. We'll have Hera to the west as the blue Goths and Leary, or Hera to the east as the blue Goths and Leary to the west as the green Vietnamese. East and west is hard sometimes. But yes, we added more hunt than anyone could ever take to the middle. Usually players ignore it, full wall and boom. We reduced the wood on the map, made it harder to take wood. Leary actually has a very safe map if he walls from that wood line then to the TC, then back here. Actually has an insane map, just without forward wood. Hera, kind of a worse map with all of his golds forward. At first glance, Leary doesn't have a good wood situation for the start, but you look at the map and he actually has an insane map if he scouts properly in walls. I think I'd much rather have his map than Hera's. All of Hera's gold is forward. Pablo, you use Arch. I encourage everyone using Arch. Oh, we have some laming. We have some laming. Hera gonna lose 2 sheep and a boar. He probably doesn't care, though. He'll just go to the middle. I don't think he's scouted the boar. He might not know he's being lamed. He might not know he's being lamed. Alright, well, the Goths like their hunt. They have longer-lasting hunt. And losing a boar is quite less than ideal. Leary already lorded one of his boars, has to be careful of his other boars at the front and vulnerable to being counter-lamed. But if Hera simply is pushing in an Ibex, then won't be going forward to lame. And the boar is still chasing the scout. Leary has to make sure he doesn't take another hit as he snakes his way through all of those hares and chickens. At first, I added a bunch of hares to the map, and T90 was like, players aren't taking the hunt, let's add more. Let's add chickens. And they're still not taking the hunt. So back lumber camp for Leary. I almost would have preferred the lumber camp here, and I think it'd be behind the wall a bit more naturally, but all the same, you can wall. And I'll leave a house out by his boar. And now be ready to lure in both at the same time, making sure he doesn't get counter-lamed. Oh, nice usage of the sheep. Oh, but he still takes one more hit on the scout. Is he going to try to keep the boar under the TC? I think he just needs to hunt it. Don't let it walk back. And don't lose a Vil, Leary. Don't lose a Vil! Oh, I did not want to see another lost Vil for him. But so far, so good for the lame. Only took 1 extra hit. That extra hit matters a lot, though, against the scout in the scout fights. And I don't think you'll want to go to the middle against the Goths. The Goths will have the option to drush. So Hera looking around like, where's my boar? Did I get lamed? And he did get lamed. It's going to have chicken nothing and players still won't take them. They'll still chicken out. So if this goes late game, we all know Fire Lancers completely wreck the Goths. Is that still going to be true even after some balance changes? I think so. Maybe you go skirms to pick off hand cannoneers or rat archers. That should do it. And loom for Leary. And he'll click up to feudal, 18 pop, 17 Vils. And he could open scouts. There's nothing wrong with opening scouts on this map. Makes sense, 1 lumber camp. Send a couple of Vils over to the berries. Make sure you're keeping the weak ones under the TC. And even doing the mill 1 tile away from the berries makes it easier to wall in and protect Vils against potential drushes. And especially when you don't have the HP on your scout, you need to protect yourself with walls. So scout's still wandering around, and yes, Hera going to the middle. He'll mill the shorefish and the hares. He's doing it, chat. Someone go into the middle. Someone go into the middle. I'm still on Windows 10 and refused to leave. I've had nothing but problems going to Windows 11. Should not have upgraded. Alright, more Vils on their way forward. But Hera's gonna stay Dark Age for a while. Maybe missing that boar really messed up his build. 400 food, and he's not ready to go up. He's going to lose the scout to the TC or lose a bunch of HP. All right, well, there goes that HP disadvantage that Leary had. And now that extra hit from the boar really hurts because he would be able to snipe off that scout if he had a full HP scout. And the great thing for Hera, though, is he'll scout the Vils going to the gold. You'll see them go into the gold. And he'll be prepared not for scouts, but for archers. Now Hera clicks up. Ugh. 6 HP difference here. I don't think Leary can win that fight unless he gets a good hill. Yeah, this is where the scout would be killed now if Leary didn't take that one extra hit from the boar just at the end. Got a bit greedy trying to get it positioned too properly under the TC and took the hit. Yeah, and Leary, he sees his map. He knows how well he can wall, and he's ready to play Black Forest, essentially. But Hera, I think, is happy if Leary walls. He just wants to play in the middle. And it will be an archer opening. Makes sense against the men-at-arms. Leary now has to be careful of his scout. Hera, I think, can just fight that. And he'll get a couple of hits. And okay, Leary in the feudal age. 2 nice hits. Closes the HP gap. Still, I think, regretting that last hit from the boar. And, ooh, has to be careful. Doesn't want to run into the militia. Vil's still walling up. I'd love to be walled there. Going with the blacksmith. And he's going to get the scout. Gets the scout down to 1 hit. So 1 HP left for Hera's scout. Hera up to feudal. But he will run around the back with the militia. That's not walled. And still is a very big area to wall. Leary not able to get the full walls up just yet. We'll need a house in the back there. Maybe even 2, just to be extra safe. But now he has to protect his gold. He's an archer out. If anything gets near that scout, the scout dies. But he's going forward. Ooh, he lost his scout to a Vil, but kills the Vil with the archers. Hera immediately going for the tower. I don't like losing that scout. There is fletching. Some walling on the gold. And the archer has to go back to the TC. It's the men-at-arms. They're the same speed now. But second archer is out, and with some walls. Oh, he'll trap the men-at-arms. He'll trap the men-at-arms. Leary with the gate. Can't get the house up. I don't know why the Vil didn't get the house. That was weird. But he'll trap the men-at-arms. Losing a Vil, though. Ooh, that hurts. If only the Vil could have got a hit on the scout. That was almost a masterpiece. But it wasn't. Good thing is for Leary, though, is Hera has another mill. He can get some archers out there. Hera will open with skirms now to fight the archers. And then the question for Leary is, does he try to go to the castle age first, or does he open scouts to fight the skirms? And honestly, I think scouts is probably the call here, because you want to fight in the middle. Yeah, and he's going to make the call on the stable. Hera's 1 HP scout still alive. Oh, Leary noticed the Vil a bit too late. So it'll be skirm men-at-arms against scout archer. With 1 tower in the middle for Hera, who is taking all the food. Fletching on the way for Hera. We'll maybe lose a man-at-arms before it comes in. Ooh, that is nasty. Nice kill from Leary, who with 4 archers will see the skirm doesn't have fletching and try to pick it off. And do so successfully. Nice for him. A couple of men-at-arms in the back, but they are fairly weak. Horse collar for Leary, who will start going for a farming eco, but we see the res collected advantage for Hera now. And now there is the scout. And killing every single man-at-arms possible with archers is crucial so that the scouts can take better fights against the skirms. We saw how effective men-at-arms were against scouts in the previous game. And nice micro from Leary. Honestly, perfect micro until he stopped moving the archers, but he'll kill the man-at-arms. Okay, he needs to run, but... Okay, gets a skirm too. Scout kind of low on HP. He's starting to lose the archers. But okay, nicely done. Nicely done from Leary. Alright, he needs another scout. Still trying to add farms. Hera, if he stays in the middle, does not need to add farms. Doesn't need horse collar. And can have fewer Vils on wood and more on food because he's not collecting wood for farms. So scout goes down for Leary. And he will need a lot of farms if he is indeed going scouts. Vietnamese will have a good eco. They can add in wheelbarrow fairly easily. And honestly, I kind of might want to see double stable scouts from Leary if he hides the second stable in the back. I don't know, maybe that's risky against Goths who can go men-at-arms or spears so easily. So another group of archers sneaking around. He's going to try to find some of the vills. You can get some kills there. That'll be nice. Still 1-to-1 eco kills. And res collected is actually ahead for Leary. Now, the hunt does last longer for the Goths, which, I mean, does that matter too much when you have this much hunt? Maybe it does because the drop-off distance will get longer over time. We can already see that. The Vill's struggling to drop off at the mills. And here come the archers. 4 archers for Leary. They have fletching, and these vills are exposed. Hera isn't noticing because he's fighting on the wood line, fighting in 2 places at once, and Leary is killing the vills on the mill, distracting Hera on the wood line. Lost 1 archer. Leary doesn't want to lose the scout and the archer, but at the same time, Hera's trying to break in, and Leary gets 3 vill kills. It's 3 vill kills. He'll lose a scout and a couple of archers, but I'm sure he's happy to get 3 kills. So 36 to 31 eco now. Hera had to idle a bit. Those men-at-arms starting to break in. Leary will get 3 scouts. He's still adding more farms. And this is where I think the Vietnamese sneak in wheelbarrow at some point. Go double stable scouts. Stay full feudal and catch Hera off guard. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Leary so far. There's a couple of men-at-arms in the back. Still could be annoying. Maybe trying to break out. You actually need quite a few units to fight that. Yeah, the men-at-arms? That's a lot of men-at-arms. That's a lot of men-at-arms from Hera. Can Scout Archer fight Skirm men-at-arm? That I don't know. Leary might need a tower to stop this from breaking in. That's where I think if you get bloodlines and get forging and armor, then your scouts are better against the men-at-arms. But you don't want to fight them without bloodlines. Right? You want to make sure you have more HP. Get to 45, get from 45 to 60 HP. He'll be down by 1 attack. But that'll be it. And yeah, those weak men-at-arms on the inside matter, breaking through the walls. Leary will look for vills. Oh, he has archers for it. He'll group them up with the scouts. He will pick off more vills from Hera on the berries. And now, can he out-micro the men-at-arms while also defending at home? This AI-like army, men-at-arms and skirms just scattering around trying to break the wall. It's like an AI fighting me in a pacifist campaign. That's what that army looks like. Oh, Hera's just saying, I need to micro at home. I'll just destroy these walls for the moment. Leary doing a house, has to be careful of the farms. This will be a tricky fight for him as Hera's up to the castle age. He's up to castle. Leary doing bloodlines. He doesn't want to fight before bloodlines, and he has to run the archers away. There are no vills under the TC. They're all in the middle. Leary's saving for castle age. And remember, once he gets castle, he can do fire lancers. So this is the question of, if he canceled bloodlines, he'd probably be up now. But he is going for bloodlines, and he is going to fight the skirms. He wants to keep his archers alive, and the skirms will have to turn around, run into the men-at-arms, and the archers now can run away. Scouts can run back. Another tower from Hera. And Leary should have a huge eco advantage now. He has wheelbarrow, did manage to sneak that in. He's got 23 farmers, or 23 farms. Maybe not 23 farmers. But 17 to 29 military. And the scouts here will pick a vill by the tower. No, they won't. And I don't think Leary can fight this. He's sending more scouts. Okay, he gets a vill. But with all those men-at-arms, he can't fight. He can, though, take a hit or two, but then run forward and harass with scouts again. Oh, what is that? 2 weak vills? No forging on the scouts, though, as he clicks up. And now the question is, how does he fight the men-at-arms? Does he have enough military on his way up to survive against Hera's push? As Hera will be up 2 minutes faster. Those will become long swords. They'll get Castle Age blacksmith upgrades. They still need forging. Hera has towers everywhere. I was even getting the stone for that. And there you go. Hera up. Leary needs a house back there. Oh, he didn't scout that. He might think the wood goes all the way to the edge of the map. And yeah, he's doing his tower. Is this too late, though? Will the men-at-arms still break in? However, Goths have that attack bonus against buildings. It is infantry plus 1, 2, 3, starting in feudal, so plus 2 against buildings in the Castle Age. Not an immediate longsword upgrade, though, for Hera. His eco doesn't feel too good, as Leary will keep walling up with more houses. Gets a tower. That is a lot of swordsmen. Leary, if there's one person who can micro this with archers, it's Leary. He'll use his scouts as a bit of a buffer and do what he can to run from the skirms. He really wants to turn them into crossbows. But there's the longsword upgrade from Hera. There is the longsword upgrade. A second stable from Leary. Could Leary go elephants here? Would that be crazy? Could he go elephants? He's gonna have a good number of archers to turn to crossbows. He has armor and bloodline, so it will have to be, if not knights, elephants. Do elephants win against longswords? I don't even know. That would be epic if he goes elephants right now. Click the elephant button, Leary. Oh, he's clicking knights. Oh, Leary, no, go elephants. So Hera knows that this is open now. He can get around whenever he wants. Crossbow's on the way. Leary has to get Bodkin, actually. Kind of forced to fight now where he might not want to, just to get Bodkin. Scout's gonna fight some elite skirms. But Hera continues the pressure with the long swords. Bodkin on the way. Knights for Leary. He's losing one at the front, but clearing elite skirms. And it's crucial that Hera has enough skirms here, because then the crossbows kill all the longswords if he ever loses the skirm numbers. Well, that being said, he's got 14 skirms. Leary walled up over here, but walls don't mean much when you're playing against the Goths. Barracks forward for Hera, who could also add pikemen if he wants to fight the knights. It's a lot of men-at-arms. Maybe the knights can find some vills. They still don't have forging, but those are some weak vills. Knights don't have much line of sight, and at the same time, the skirms are coming around. Crossbow should be able to pick those long swords, but Hera notices and pulls back. At the same time, knights attacking the vills won't get too many because they'll hop in the tower. Husbandry on the way for Leary, and he wants to go full knight pikeman for Hera. And it'll be crossbow knight against longsword skirm pikeman, and it feels that Leary's on the back foot. Hera probably could do a TC at this point if he wanted behind this, and Leary's going to be out of gold soon. He's throwing down a market. And does he win this fight? I don't know. The knights, where'd the knights go? They're pulled back maybe? Yeah, the knights are pulling back. Leary wants the fight with the knights. The skirms won't contribute too much against the knights now that the knights have armor. How will the longswords fare as Leary tries to pull the knights back? He can do monks and try to heal them. He kills a few more longswords, loses a knight in the process though. Wants to clean as many longswords as he can. And here come the pikemen now. We all know how pikemen do against knights in early Castle Age though. And Leary going for the skirms. Are the pikemen there in time? Looks like they are. But Leary still has a lot of knights. Cheap Gothic pikemen though. And we have 2 barracks pikemen now from Hera. But it'll be knight crossbow against pikeman skirm, which the knight crossbow should be the better composition. Attack upgrade from Leary will be better at fighting the pikemen, and this could be awkward for Leary because the crossbows are right next to the skirms. He's picking all the pikemen off though with the crossbows, and the knights will kill the skirms. Leary now taking the lead, staying under the skirms with the crossbows was the right choice. He clears all of Hera's army. Hera now down to 15 military, going to be relying on monks, but Leary has done it. No elephants, but he's cleared the forward. Knights and crossbows. Good old knights and crossbows. Hera's starting to pick up relics though with all the map control. 5 relics in the middle in the valley. Oh, we're finally having an aggressive game of Valley. Now Leary could maybe think about re-walling out here. Kind of do need stone walls with the Vietnamese against the Goths though, but bought some stone at the market. He's going to do another TC somewhere out here to protect the gold and get more wood. Heard a conversion somewhere. Knight's still trying to harass the Vills. Hera still hasn't made a single farm this game. Hera might need to get farms at some point if he loses the middle. And now things could actually snowball super hard for Hera if he only has 7 on food. And he's trying to do 2 food units in skirm pikemen. The lack of farming eco, I think, is going to kill Hera. I think Leary actually is super far ahead now. Hera can do a second TC, but how's he going to produce Vills? He does not have any food income. Does not have any food income at all. Monks healing up the knights. And there is a TC for Hera. TC for Leary, so we'll stay equal in Vill count. Handcart, though, for Leary. And much better eco upgrades. Vietnamese, cheaper eco upgrades. Great bonus for them. Pikemen will run under the TC. Hera not microing the pikemen properly. I'll try to fight the knights on the way out. We'll get a knight at least, but pikemen all go down. Monk can heal up some more of those knights. Vills have to wall on the wood for Hera. Knights looking to raid wherever they can. Monk's trying to convert knights. Will that monk go down? No sanctity. Yes, it will, but a couple knights killed in the process. There's a gate for Hera, because why not? That is the most Viper-like base I've ever seen, with a gate in the middle of nowhere. And Leary with the TC on the side. Still would like to see him try to wall up a bit more. Stay safe over here. He can keep amassing military. And I do still think in the long run, Fire Lancers are probably the goal for the Vietnamese. It felt bigger than it was. Leary's 2k res collected ahead. And he's up 79 to 40k in KD. He's doing Devotion. Good position, but no GG. I think the fact that Hera is just now doing farms, doesn't have Horse Collar, means it's GG. I don't think Hera's eco can hold up against Leary when he doesn't have farms. Leary's food eco is going to be smooth and consistent. Hera, you can look at the idle TC time. 5 minutes and he's adding in a third TC. This is just a defensive TC. A Cav Archer! Let's go Vietnamese Cav Archers. Yeah, all of his eco is dependent on being in the middle, which he's not going to have the map control to hold anymore. And Devotion helps Leary kill that monk. He'll finally be able to garrison the TC against the raids as the knights come in. And still, Hera could have gone Mongols on this map. Taken the hunt and kind of played scouts maybe with the hunt. But Vill's now on the gold. The knights with foraging will be much better at raiding than before. Vill's going down. And the pikemen walking around the house, but not immediately fighting the knights. Leary can micro away from that. And he's fighting at the front too with the crossbows, running from the skirms. No ballistics for anyone yet, but chain barding armor for the knights so they can fight the skirms better, fight under the towers more effectively. And well, I'm sure Hera will be the first one to tell you how poorly pikemen perform against knights. I think he has a t-shirt that describes this situation. He has been hunting like mad, but you can't sustain 3 TCs on hunt alone. You need farms, and he's losing more vills. So 72 to 53 KD, 72 to 53 vill count in Leary's favor. 99 to 51 KD, even better. And the monk gets a conversion, even on a devoted knight. Converted, devoted knight. And 3rd TC now for Leary, who will continue the eco lead, 4k res collected ahead. And right now, we're just kind of waiting for Leary to win this game. I used to transitioning out of hunt. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't rely on only hunt. You need farms too. I wonder how the game would have played out had he picked Mongols, though. Maybe a bit better hunt or scouting in the early game with the Mongols too could mean he doesn't get lamed. So 26 to 35 military. Still numbers better for Hera, but now we see scale mail armor. We see the next barracks. We'll see Vietnamese Fire Lancers, who are one of those and Fire Lancer civs. Archery range units and Fire Lancers, plus 20% HP. And Leary even thinking of fighting by the hill. Crossbows ready to pick off pikemen. Extra HP on the crossbows does still help out against the skirms. Taking the hunt means losing the game. Well, maybe that's why no one's done it. Ooh, don't love this fight for Leary. Lost a few knights there. 117 to 69 KD. But I can't afford to keep losing knights. Maps widening. The eco gap is, but now look at the army count gap, 27 to 14. The Goths have gotten the military advantage. They're starting to get their numbers out. And Leary now, he's taken the gold in the back. He was playing Black Forest earlier, but now he has to take the gold in the front. Maybe this isn't over if Hera can pressure the front. He's still fighting knights with pikemen, and as Leary's trying to go Fire Lancers, he did fall behind in numbers for a moment. Trying to add in more barracks. But now, if Hera is not an imp and doesn't have hand cannoneers, I don't know how he fights Fire Lancers. I don't think you can fight them in the Castle Age as the Goths. Long Swordsmen are maybe your option. If Goths ever get eco, which is a big if in this situation, but a possibility nevertheless, Hera has gotten Horse Collar, but still no Wheelbarrow. He's putting a ton of vills onto stone. Could do the castle. And go monks against the Fire Lancers for now. And Hera's hope is maybe to get enough military that he can castle drop the gold. And then stop Leary from taking gold, as he is just about out of gold in the back. So that's the one last chance for Hera now if he can control the gold. But he's fighting in the middle right now. Leary is on stone himself. If he can get a good castle by a gold, I don't know if he does it out here to protect that gold or in front of the main gold. I think the main gold is still the right castle spot for him. Just needs to make sure he has enough military that he can hold, but now he has 4 barracks Fire Lancer production. And if longswords are the answer to that, Leary still has the answer to that with his archery ranges. He's throwing down houses. I don't know if these are panic houses or anti-castle houses. Anti-castle houses feel like a good choice from him. Still waiting for heavy plow, but otherwise Leary has the eco upgrades. He has town watch. Good vision of whatever Hera tries to do. Hera pushing up the hill. Still a huge military advantage for the Goths. But they have to fight Fire Lancers. Maybe longswords, though, are the answer to Fire Lancers? They do count as shock infantry. They don't want to fight longswords. There's one civ that can do enough longswords to fight the Fire Lancers. It might be the Goths, but the numbers are dropping. Numbers are dropping. That's so much HP. 78 HP compared to 60 for the longswords. Hera 19. He has the stone, though, for a castle drop. Hera castle dropping here, though, I think could be nasty. Question is, where does he do it? Oh, there's a bit of a raid in the back. Does Leary see the amount of stone Hera's taking? No, he might not. Because Hera's still chasing with monks. Leary looking for another raid. Gonna get some idle time on Hera. Leary's up by almost 10,000 resources collected, but still struggling to take a fight against the Goths. Military numbers are there for Hera. As much as I say he's struggling, he's 160 to 107 KD, but Hera, he's going for the castle drop. He only has 6 vills. Leary will counter castle. The castles will be kissing each other. But this might finally be a castle that Leary gets up first. Can he take this fight against Hera's military, though? Does he have the production behind this? Hera thinks he does, so he deletes. And he'll go for maybe another castle. Leary, maybe some anti-castle buildings. Hera did not have the numbers. Oh, Leary will delete that. He doesn't want a castle. He wants more stone to counter castle. It'll be a castle at home as Leary keeps raiding with knights. I don't think there should be a way for Hera to win this game at this point. It's now 12,000 resources collected ahead for Leary. And also expiring farms for Hera now. And now, finally, 26 to 16 military. I think the lack of food will be hurting Hera's production. Trying to go 2 castles. Leary will come forward for his own castle. Can Hera wall this? Gets the house. Yeah, he'll wall that. He's Hera. Leary pretty much all the upgrades now. Just needs heavy plow, ballistics, and the armor. But I think we're looking at a 2-2 set. Yes, we are. As Leary ties it up. Leary ties it up 2-2. Let's go. So the infinite men-at-arms did not work out. It was looking quite scary for Leary there for a while, but he had just enough crossbows and knights to take the fights. Hera didn't transition his eco all that well off of the hunt, and I think the Vietnamese scale better than the Goths in terms of their unit composition. So, GG. Didn't expect a 2-2. Well, here we are. Leary with a fighting chance after falling behind 2-0. Hera losing his home map. Lost with the Goths. Could have picked Mongols. Maybe regrets not going for them. That's a good civ pick in the Vietnamese off the scoreboard for Leary. Alright, so I'm going to take a quick break myself and run to the bathroom now that we're over the 4/7 mark of the series. We'll have at least 6 games, so I will be right back. All right, let's see. What do we have going on? High tides will be game number 3. This is where Hera's using the Mongols. And Gabby, hello Gabby, how are you doing? Always lovely to have you around. And Chicho, hello. Strong match, yes, 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 we're 2-2. We're at least putting up a fight today. Remember, he'd only lost 1 game the entire tournament, so he is as prepared as he possibly could be for this. So high tides and Mongols against Georgians. Here we are at Leary, the green Georgians to the west, Hera, the blue Mongols to the east, and the map is high tides. So you have rhinos on the map, 400 food compared to the 340 of boars, and you have a good patch of 4 hunt to push in. Mongols will be great, and Hera, not wasting any time, immediately goes for the rhino. Now my question now for the Mongols is, are they going to fish if you're taking the boar this early? Because if you want to go for the dock, you might go to wood early. I mean, you could leave only 5 on the boar. Oh my gosh, Leary, he lamed the previous game. Could he lame here? He has the perfect opportunity with a hill next to the rhino. You're against the Mongols, and he's going for it? If Hera scouted that, where Hera's scout's not in position, he's picking up the goats. He's going to be lamed. And Leary, atop the hill, took less damage from the boar. Oh, let's go. Hera's going to try to intercept the scout, but he hasn't scouted anything. He won't know exactly where to go. He has a general idea where Leary is. Leary will be a bit slower because he's lowering the boar. He's coming back with 2 goats, too. Oh, this is a good lame for him. Hera will try to cut it off. It's going to be pretty close to Leary's base. Leary also has to be careful about not losing his own sheep. He might just want to send a Vil out to try to get involved in this. And that's why Hera took the first rhino so early, so he wouldn't have to deal with this. And Leary, what he's going to try to do here is just get away from the goats so Hera doesn't lame them. And he's sending a Vil to the goats. And okay, he'll lose the rhino. Lost a bit of HP on the scout, but he got two goats from the lame. Where's Hera going now? Trying to get the goats, maybe? Maybe he'll try to get a hill advantage. Where's that goat going? He'll get 1. So was the HP disadvantage worth it now? Well, the other thing he did was he stopped Hera from pushing in the hunt. So you're stopping the Mongols now. Hera doesn't have any hunt under the TC. It's just a goat. So that rhino has to walk all the way back. Hera didn't manage to push in any of the other deer-like animals. And Leary will be going out for the dock. He needs to make sure he walls the Vil in. No loom for either of them. Took 2 HP off of the scout, but that won't be enough for the loomless Vil to win. Leary walls in the Vil. There he goes, there he goes. Not taking any chances. And Hera did lose against Winchester. Lost 2-1 against Vinch in the group stage. He lost 3 games in the group stage and then lost a game to Viper. Did he lose a game to ACCM? I didn't see that set. But yeah, I think Hera has at least 4 losses so far. So still has more losses in all of TTL than Leary, right? I think that wasn't perfect from Leary. That wasn't perfect. He didn't finish the lame, but he did exactly what he wanted to do against the Mongols. Stopped them from taking the hunt early on. Now Hera will go back and push the ostriches, but this isn't going to be a super fast uptiming from the Mongols. Maybe they could go for that fast feudal and win the water just by the uptiming. Not going to be the case here. And there's loom for both of them, so it'll be looking like the same uptiming. Leary actually slightly ahead in the fish. Was housed just a bit on the dock, I think. But doing loom, and is he going to click up after this? Will he have the food from the rhino to go up? Or is he going to do another Vil? He's doing another Vil, so Hera's up. Mongols still find a way to go up faster. And part of me wonders, against the Mongols and how important the hunt is, if during the lame it would have been proper for Leary to have done Loom and sent a Vil. And then you get the Vil to bring the Rhino in, and with Loom you'll be safe. Everything went well for Leary at the start, having the hill advantage. But letting the Rhino walk back was maybe something that could have been prevented. I don't know if the Loom would have been worth it there, but it also would have meant your Vil's safe on the dock if you do Loom. So better fishing eco so far for Leary, getting the 4th fishing ship added, but Hera will be up first. Does being up first give you early pressure? I don't know, because you can garrison the dock now. Part of me would have liked to have seen Leary right now taking the forward fish that's between the docks, so he has more room to take the back fish if he has to garrison. Little things like that are going to become important on these maps where the docks are so close. Barracks now for Hera, as the Zebra is pushed in. And the final Zebra, but not Dark Age hunt for the Mongols. Feudal Age hunt. There he goes and immediately opens with a stable. So scouts can lead into Steppe Lancers for the Mongols. Oh, a couple of goats there for Leary. Looking at Hera's TC, he still has 4 goats left, compared to Leary, who has 7 goats. So he does have the goat advantage. More Lewises under the TC. Didn't Yo did win against Hera in Medieval Masters, Mario's tournament over the summer. So yeah, Hera has lost quite a bit in A-tier events. There's a range for Leary. Yeah, Medieval Masters. And having both of that and Midweek Madness both be double M tournaments confused me to no end. So 1 dock for Hera, 1 for Leary, and he is already pumping out a second Hulk. So when you're this close, there's pretty much no option other than Hulks. You won't be able to micro galleys. Oh, the fishing ship survives. And fires will just lose to the Hulks, so it is pure Hulk. Spear defense for Leary, as he's going spears and a range, adding in a few archers. Now, scouts are nice because you have the good food eco as the Mongols, and then you have fish. Archers mean you're kind of doubling up on the eco that you're already pumping into your Hulk production. And with all the goats under the TC and the fish, you're delaying your farms for quite a while. Oh, we have the changing sails again. Let's go. The changing sails. And 1 Hulk in the dock, as Leary will maybe dare some dock fire. Idle fish. Jar's trying to attack the Vil too. And he has managed to wall himself the mule carts. Let him be very closed in on the wood line. As spears chase the scouts. Do I like the Hulk sounds brutality? Not really. I don't mind the sounds as much as I mind the animation. I think the ropes are silly. I'm actually kind of glad Captrage doesn't show the ropes right now. They're gonna fix that bug at some point. And okay, oh, that's a lot of scouts. That is a lot of scouts. And Leary, you're not gonna get that tower up in time, Leary, but he's also killing the scouts if he fights with the Vils. What is going on here? Hera's gonna lose this fight. He doesn't have any upgrades on the scouts. The Vils are gonna kill all the scouts here. Archer on the way. Leary has lost, I think, 2 Vils? Compared to all those scouts, Leary just, oh, that is a mistake trying to do that tower? But the scouts are all going down. There's 1 scout left for Hera. So 4-3 KD. Leary still has the fish on the water. And, oh, at the same time, Leary was getting on the berries. Hera had to fight with Vils. Okay, and Leary gets 1 Vil there, so in retaliation. Okay, it's a messy game for both players. Yeah, Hera's scouts really didn't engage prior. That was just both of them trying to fight on two sides at once. Oh, the micro too much even for Leary and Hera. And Leary with the score lead now. And he's gotten past the good early game advantage that the Mongols have with the hunt. He's won the water. So many times on this map I've seen the player win the water and then lose the map though. So Leary has to be careful not to overinvest into water or into fish. He can very well lose by virtue of overinvestment. He does not have a stable himself, so Hera going for the skirms means there isn't a good counter yet for Leary. Other than maybe his own skirms, the spears don't want to fight the skirms. No fletching for Hera, so Leary maybe with an opportunity to out-micro still. And I think that's open and unwalled. Leary could always wall against the edge of the map over here. And they could always go to the edge, be somewhat safer. Here he is, fletching on the way for Hera. Skirms hitting the spear. Spear goes down. Skirms there hit the Vil. Vil's low on HP. And Hera popping out of the dock, not letting the dock be destroyed with some hulks. He'll run to the corner. And he will try to snipe some of Leary's fish. Maybe the Vil. Leary just needs to make sure he garrisons at the right moment. Hera taking the score lead now. Leary's down by 2 Vils, but up by 7 fish. And the res collected are just about the same. Once you get to the Castle Age and the Georgians get fortified churches, their eco will pull far ahead of the Mongol eco. We won't have an eco bonus anymore. But then they also have to fight Steppe Lancers, which is very tricky. No matter what civ you are. How did the Manaspas hold up to Mangdai? That is a good question. I think that probably always depends on numbers and map positioning and eco more than the pure unit. It's always tricky with the Georgians to balance your eco versus your push, and make sure that you have churches versus TCs versus armies added properly. You need to get the right ratios. Leary needs to be aware of the fact he's overchopped, and he's rewalling. But much bigger land military for Hera. Still the dock going down. He's trying to find Leary's fishing ships. So far hasn't really managed it. And a stable for Leary, so that Hera did see the stable, so he knows Leary is going to be staying in the Castle Age for a while. I mean, staying in the Feudal Age for a while before clicking up to Castle. So one of each feudal building for everyone. More hulks now for Hera as he's trying to snipe the fishing ships. But will lose the hulk battle. Gets 4 fishing ships, actually. Nicely done. Actually has the better eco KD now. Still has that dock, and he's still trying to hoover around. And he's up to the Castle Age, but then so is Leary, both up at the same time. Both up at exactly the same time. Leary had to do the tower, Hera didn't, so Hera can throw down 2 TCs right away if he wants to. Not as big of a problem for the Georgians, though, who can do a church to make up for TCs. If you go double stable knights, you do put yourself at a disadvantage against potential cav archers in the long run, but maybe you could do some early game pushing. Leary's still simply trying to chase the hulks around. And not having much success. Maybe he needs 1 galley. Hera's doing whatever he can to find the fishing ships. But so far, at least Leary dances in and out of the dock. A skirm dance and a hulk dance. Now Tower picks a scout. Foraging for Leary, bloodlines for Hera, so it does look like Hera will want to go for Steppe Lancers. This is still not walled. Leary moving out to wall on the south. He's doing a market. Market to help remanage the economy because he maybe notices he's floating some gold. Hera will be fully walled, so he'll be fully walled at home. Yep, there's the stable, so it looks like it'll be Steppe Lancers for him. He's got to hope that in the Civ matchup that Steppe Lancers are something that Georgians lose to. Oh man, it takes forever to stop those hulks. There's bloodlines also for Leary. So he might go simply for knights. Hera will see the market. Oh, actually light cav. 3 scouts alive, and he's in. Oh, what the? Hera didn't wall in time. Hera didn't wall in time, and Leary is in. Leary is in. He has 1 archer there, very low on HP. Hera hasn't noticed this. Wait a minute, Hera hasn't noticed this. Those scouts have forging. They're Georgian scouts that heal. Hera, at the same time, is trying to get in on the wood line, but his scouts won't be as good as Leary's. Leary will be fighting the Vils. There are no spears here. Spears even for Leary. Hera going for a knight instead of a step lancer. That should be another few dead Vils there. Oh, and all of a sudden, Leary with a great raid. Light Cav is in. Light Cav is in. Just needs to make sure he's fighting the Vils rather than the knights. He should be able to kill more Vils. He's trying to go a TC on the gold, but that'll be stopped by skirms for the moment. Fortified Church. I don't think that TC goes up. At the very least, though, Leary should be able to clear the dock. Still has 4 hulks. Cleared Hera's naval military. But there we go. 11 to 10 eco KD. Part of me thinks Leary needed to go double stable knights, and maybe he thinks that too. He's doing the second stable. Doesn't want to delete the TC and get or lose the stone. Might be kind of necessary at this point, though. That's a lot of feudal skirms. Hera continuing to pressure forward, doing his own knights. Leary really wants that gold. He has to go to the gold in the back. Easy to do that with the mule carts, and he didn't wall up yet. But he wants to secure the main gold. Didn't get the church there, but now we'll need monks against the knights. And he should have better knights than the Mongols if he can get them out. But he's struggling against all the skirms. Hera simply has more skirms. He has the skirm numbers. And we all know skirms are the best unit. Leary has to delete that foundation. And yes, he did. There he goes. So, nice early raid from him. Slight eco lead, though. Didn't kill enough Vils. 1 knight getting into the back was enough. And Leary will wall with a TC now. As he goes double stable knights with a church. Might need another church in this part, though. Or this part of his base. And he should have a much better eco. Still has some fish. Now that Vil's idle. But still some fish. He'll have the second TC. Hera will see the second TC. Leary needs to make sure, I think, that he has a full inner layer of walls in case that house goes down. Yep, and that's exactly what he's doing. And maybe even a wall there. He does not want knights getting into that gold. And Hera not diving the TC. Knights coming around the back for Leary. How will this fight go? The monks need conversions. If they get conversions, it's okay. If they don't get conversions, Hera wins. Hera has numbers here. Leary committing to it, even after losing the monk. He can kind of commit to fights and run, though, because his knights will heal up. And now Hera maybe diving too deep with the TC there. Knights wanting to pick Vils. He's just diving the TC. Leary will have reinforcements in this fight. The monks can be used under the TC. I don't like that dive from Hera. And now Leary gets the second TC up. And he feels like he's staved off the early pressure. Can heal up his knights. Hera with map control, maybe he could do a monastery and think about relics now. And yeah, that's what he's doing. Double stables for him. Continuing to pump knights. If the Georgians do go very heavily into knights, the Mongols have an option of camels. And now the fish will be so far from the dock that they are very inefficient. But at least it's still a little nice bit of an eco boost. And now the Georgian eco with the church should start to pull ahead with numbers, with a church, with a second church in the back. Leary should be hard to raid. Now, the only thing that's exposed is the main gold. Husbandry just in now for Hera. Leary could even think about walling a bit more. Well, it feels like he's managed to stabilize from that maybe tenuous early position where Hera had more military. Leary needs to think about his eco upgrades too, though. Both solid for Hera. Leary takes a slight score lead. Score always a bit deceiving when you have water. Vil counts 48 to 48, and Leary should start pulling ahead. So, pulling ahead in Vils with churches powering the eco, and he should feel like he's in a good spot, and he's even grabbing a relic. Yeah, Leary might actually have a shot at this set. And that Coast Arena game at the start was still really close. Imagine if he had managed to win that. I think the thing that really hurt Leary is losing that Stranded game, though, with his first pick Italians. Losing that is very rough. Oh, what is this? Hera's not walled. Hera's trying to do camels with a couple of monks. Is this a good raid for Leary? He's going to give up knights to conversions. He'll get a Vil. He can't keep fighting there. The skirms are diving the TC, but I think that's a mistake from Hera. The skirm should be killed by the knights now. As Leary will get a third TC, finally gets the TC spot he wanted on the gold. Leary will see that Hera has a second TC. Will Hera wall this? He's going to wall that, and then the knights will be trapped. The knights need to attack the gate now. Double gate. And yeah, the knights are trapped. That's Leary diving too greedily and too deep. But he will clean up the skirms at the same time. So maybe Leary actually needs those house walls he'd wanted earlier. Needs to maybe delete that palisade so he can navigate his base a bit more easily and take the berries if he wants. With 3 TCs, Hera just doing a third now. 53 to 57 Vils. See if Leary can pull ahead. Still needs eco upgrades. Long run, do Georgians have cannon? They don't. In the long run, I'm kind of wondering what Georgians do against Mangudai. They missed the final armor on their skirms. Maybe Manaspas could be okay. Mongols do have good heavy camels, but they do miss the final armor. I'm not sure how these two civs match up if it goes for a long game, other than Georgians should have a better eco. The wonderful camel sound, using the same audio file as the imps and zombies from Doom. I can never unhear that. Husbandry, a wheelbarrow for Leary. Still have some hulks. Relic for Hera. So both 1-to-1 on relics, but I think Hera is prioritizing them now. So, well, Hera will be up 3-2 on relics in the long run. Leary going for a 4th TC. And as the Georgians, he can do a fortified church there to protect it. There's wheelbarrow for him. Still needs bow saw. Still needs horse collar. He's doing his eco upgrades. He's recognizing this won't be a quick game. He needs to focus on the upgrades a bit. And everyone going for conversions. Is it better to convert knights or camels here? I'm not actually sure. Skirms to deal with monks will still be good for Leary. That's the point of the skirms, to kill monks. Oh, the monks were kind of charged, though, for Hera. No sanctity. He gets a conversion. The conversions need to come in. This is, I think, a good fight for Hera with the camels, though. Let's see. The monks are there healing for Leary. I think Hera wins that. Too many camels. Yeah, Georgians are kind of weak to camels. And Hera's starting to pull ahead now and score. More barracks for Leary. And Hera actually ahead by 10 Vils. Lots of idle TC time for Leary. I think that just comes down to the lack of eco upgrades, even though he has the churches. Map control for the golds and map control in the south will matter. So far, no one really paying attention to that. And, oh, Leary. Not the fight he wanted, but he has more monks. This is maybe a silly thing to think about, but the Mongols could do atonement, and the Georgians can't. And I wonder if atonement would actually be a thought for Hera for converting monks. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Hera's eco has been keeping up the entire game, when it feels like, as the Georgians, you want to be pulling ahead. He's getting a couple of raids in. Oh, killing a few more Vils. And all of a sudden, that's a 20-13 eco KD in favor of Hera. Leary not walling up, relying on the churches, and I think that's a mistake. I think he should be fully walled here. Look at Hera. He's basically fully walled, other than that little gap. Devotion for Leary, castle for Hera. He'll think about Mangudai. And so far, Leary's still relying on monks to counter the camels. No second unit. The Georgians have Arb? No, they don't. Is foraging for Hera. Leary hoping that he has more monks for this fight, and that he can kill the monks from Hera before too many conversions come in, and he does. He clears the monks, and that castle will not protect the gold. Hera wants to jump monks with light cav. How does he get that house foundation? And a couple of light cav going down. Leary's pushing. He's pushing with the monks. Wants to disrupt Hera's eco. And he needs to get some Vil kills in retaliation from all those raids he suffered. And this is going to come down. What is the monk micro from Leary? Can he get conversions of the camels? Hera diving and running. Can he get conversions maybe on the light cav? Can he swap to the Mangudai? Hera trying to jump the monks with light cav. If the monks go down, did the monks spend all their conversion and monk juice on one Mangudai? Wait, the monks might be out of juice here. They're still trying to heal, but this is going to be a great fight for Hera. All the monks are cleared, and Lyri, again, very greedy on the fight, not doing any eco damage to Hera. All his vills were still working. The knight's dying to camels, and the Georgians do not have an answer to the camels. Hera was ahead of Romans in a game in res collected. Well, now he's ahead of Georgians. No church out here. And there's Imp for Hera. Imp won't be too far away for Lyri, but what's he gonna do? I guess he has to open Halb. But that'll be tricky with Mangudai out. And Lyri, that was not a good decision to go in. He's had a couple of questionable fight decisions so far. The monks have been nerfed so many times that they're not really that useful in those fights anymore. If devotion should add the delay midway through a conversion. I've never tested it, but everything I know about Monk Micro would very much surprise me if it didn't. And there's Lyri up to Amp, but he's over a minute behind, and Hera will be taking advantage of control in the south. I'll have an outpost there, is seeing what Lyri is doing. And Lyri not moving to the south at all. Going for Town Watch and Imperial Age, but now it'll be Mangudai for Hera. And maybe tricky for the Georgians to fight Mangudai. They might have to go Cavaliers. Hera getting a nice few Vil picks here. And again, this feels like it's going to be the player who won the water, losing the game ultimately, as the fish are not that good of a boost for your eco. They get far away from the dock so quickly. And all this time, Hera's had a better eco. No fish, no churches. But also, with the camels, Lyri hasn't figured out how to take fights. Oh, why is Imp in this TC? I guess he doesn't want to train Vils in this TC with this being so far forward, so... I guess that is the most efficient TC to do Imp, as long as you get it. And so, 4th TC also from Hera. Monks used to be way too strong. I feel that if you microed against the monks favorably, you had an advantage. And then the monk micro was a bit overblown. I think people complained about the randomness more so than the power. Lyri will call the GG as Hera's up, and that was a crazy game, but it just felt like every fight went slightly in Hera's favor, and he made the right call of not investing too much on the water. And even when Lyri won the water, Hera could run around with the hulks for so long and snipe off the fish. And Lyri never got the eco boost he wanted. Well, that puts Hera one win away from victory. As we'll have a loss for Lyri on his final home map of High Tides. Monocle and slopes remain. Some Georgians losing to Mongols, and Hera still has the Wei. So Wei, Romans, and Malians against the end of the civs for Lyri, Vikings, Hindustanis, and Koreans. And that is, I think, a rough set of civ matchups. Unless Koreans can Fire Lancer their way to victory somehow. ACCM started coaching Lyri not to resign. The dashboard still says they're in high tides, so maybe the dashboard's bugged? I hope it's not. Please, dashboard, your only hope. Nope, Monocle will be the next map. There you go, Monocle. Alright. So, Lyri made it to Game 6. Needs to get a win, And then he'll face the Wei in Game 7, which I imagine would be... Ooh, what's better against the Wei, Koreans or Hindustanis? Hindustanis with camels against the Wei could be interesting when all the good Wei units are cav. That would be an interesting Game 7, Hindustanis Wei. I think I prefer Hindustanis to Koreans. Do you know the way? Well, what matters is if Leary knows the way. But that will just be a potential Game 7. He needs to get there first. And Vikings-Romans are a matchup where I think I would favor the Romans. But Vikings have a good eco. Wheelbarrow will be great for running Vils around on the outside, which you have to do a lot of on Monocle. And extra HP for their swordsman line. How does that compare to the armor for the Romans? Well, it comes in earlier, in early feudal. Before the Romans get their blacksmith upgrades, they should win. In the long run, I don't think they like fighting Scorpion legions. I don't think I've ever actually seen legions in a pro game, though. The game always ends before then. Alright, so here we are, Leary, again to the west, or northwest for Leary, south for Hera, on Monocle. So, boar immediately lured from Leary. Not even finishing the house. Okay, Leary, finish your house. Don't be housed in the middle of the Dark Age, please. I hope he finishes the house. That would be the worst thing ever. Oh, he gets a lame. Steals a turkey. Hera's taking a boar right at the start, too. Yeah, so both players making sure they don't get lamed. Other boars in the back. Alright, Leary. Will he finish the house? Anyway, the map is Monocle. The map is Monocle. We have fish all over on the outside of the map for players to go take. A couple of rocks blocking some placement here and there. Making sure you can't do a TC. And Leary needs to do the house, Leary. Okay, he remembered, All good. Now you can push in the deer, take the boar. And the tricky thing about the Romans on this map is that they have 5% faster everything, so they will gather from the shorefish 5% faster. Vikings with free wheelbarrow, is that better than 5% faster? If you're right next to the mill, probably not. If you gotta walk a bit to drop it off, maybe? I did try to improve the ability to place mills on this map by rejiggling the shorefish locations a bit. Hera will be pushing a far deer, saving the deer near the TC for later. Leary just pushing the ones by the TC, getting them in. I do kind of like that. You can take these at your leisure later on. Leary just wants to get a good start. Get all of them pushed in because they're nice and close. Then could even push more from the outside. So, when do we get a barracks? Do we get an early drush from either player? Probably not for the Vikings. I think they want to get to wheelbarrow as fast as possible, and they don't get infantry HP and still feudal. I don't think you can dock these. I think I remembered to make them all medium water. Or deep water. That would be crazy if you could take a fish and dock and then get longboats, but I'm pretty sure you can't do that. Maybe I should have let them be dockable. You could sail back and forth across the beach terrain on a couple of them, but I think I made them undockable. So second boar for Leary. Still has one more deer to push in. He'll go for a mill. Nice mill on 5 shorefish. And I'm pretty sure that once we get feudal, we'll see the tower by the mills too. Hera now pushing in the close deers. He does a barrack, so it'll be barracks before the mill for Hera, who wants to do Dark Age Militia, maybe? And it'll be mill before the barracks for Leary, who wants to get feudal as ASAP as he can. And he could even push the deer to the mill rather than the fish, and then be able to leave the fish lasting longer. Food in both spots. He pushed to the mill or to the TC? He's going to the mill. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Less pushing for Leary. There is loom for Hera. Leary is still nowhere close to going up. He needs to drop off from the boar. We'll be taking deer rather than shorefish. Okay, that's interesting. I like it. I like it. Is it good or bad? I don't know, but I like it. And there is Loom for Leary. He's trying to drown the... I mean, he killed them. I guess the matter of killing doesn't really matter. So Harris scouting the mill. He'll have a 1 vil uptime advantage. 1 vil and 4 seconds of idle TC. And militia for Leary. So early on, HP advantage for the Vikings. They should win in an early fight. And Hera will likely prioritize the blacksmith and armor. If you're doing that, though, then maybe you're not prioritizing the range and archer numbers. Now, wheelbarrow and handcart will be crazy good eco bonuses for the Vikings, but will they be enough actually to fight the Romans? We've seen so many swordsman shorefish maps like Dune Springs, where the swordsman line for the Romans dominates, the eco dominates. There's Hera up. Third militia for Leary. He'll have to play defensively for now. He's thinking of fighting. Men-at-Arms will come in. Leary going to try to fight before the Men-at-Arms upgrade comes in. Leary up to feudal. And now the militia immediately gets some more HP. 48 to 40. And he'll need to click Man-at-Arms himself. He doesn't have the gold for Men-at-Arms. Oh, the build is not timed properly. There he goes, just clicks it. But he is well behind Hera. Has to throw up a panic tower. Has to turn and fight with Vils. Doesn't have Men-at-Arms. Doesn't have the timing. And the militia are going down before the Men-at-Arms upgrade comes in. More Vils fighting. Hera losing some of his Men-at-Arms too. And the rest of them are very low in HP. Will the tower get kills? It'll get 1. It won't get the second, but okay, that's 1 HP on the Man-at-Arms, 2 for the scout. But somehow Hera perfectly calculated, keeps them both alive, and he can keep scouting with the scout. That is huge to have the scout alive. Why the Vikings here? Good eco plus swordsman HP bonus. And picking them over, I guess, Koreans. I mean, Koreans and Hindustanis are the other 2 picks. And that's a low HP Vil, but can chase the lower HP Scout. And Hera will see the range, do a range himself. Has the blacksmith now doing forging, and good timing for Hera to be able to get the range. This is looking like a win for Hera. This has been a great opening for him. Has a good score lead. Already pulling ahead in res collected. And as I said, I think the Romans' shorefish bonus, when the fish are still super close to the mill, will matter more than wheelbarrow. This is not a farming map, and wheelbarrow is most efficient at improving your farmers. Leary will try to micro that archer back to the tower to save it from the Man-at-Arms, and will do so. He's housed, needs a panic house for another archer. Doing the blacksmith now, but we'll need to do fletching. Not committing to more Men-at-Arms. Did he actually do the upgrade? Oh, he canceled the upgrade. He canceled the upgrade and is just focusing on archers now. Well, that means Hera's going to have Men-at-Arms plus skirms, and Leary will just have archers. And that's, I think, going to be very tricky for Leary to fight. He might have to do a stable and then try to go scouts archers, but Vikings won't have bloodlines. So I don't like that in the long run. Yeah, faster moving Vils are nice. Still slower than Men-at-Arms, though. They need handcart, really, to speed up. Yeah, then Men-at-Arms skirms. And how does Leary fight this now with only archers? I don't think he does. Fletching for Hera. Armor also. Now repairing the house. Skirms taking down the Vil HP.
Impera. Salve. Impera. Tibi Serbio. Impera. Salve. Tibi Serbio.
Immense pressure. Well, it's only 3 Men-at-Arms at least. Skirms now from Leary. Oh, look at that score difference. How the heck is the score difference that big when it's literally 100 res collected in a 4-3 KD? But it feels like that's the momentum that Hera has. Maybe it's scouting. He scouted the whole map. Well, his scout is still alive. Yeah, the score is from scouting now. Alright, Leary still can hold on. But he has to hope that Vikings somehow are better in the long run, and he has to save that Vil. Oh wait, the wood line's open. He notices, he notices. He needs a second lumber camp somewhere, actually. He doesn't have the wood for another lumber camp. Okay, now he does. But the next thing he builds has to be a lumber camp. He's gonna need more wood. I think he's aware of it. I'll be outside his walls, though. He has to hope Hera never goes over there. And is this the set winning fight from Hera? Leary has good micro. He's on the hill. Throws down a house. And yeah, there's his next lumber camp. So he escapes to another hill, or another wood line, as he continues trying to hold the hill. He will lose his range, though, and he doesn't have the wood to do another one. He's up to the Castle Age. What does he do in the Castle Age, though? Is this just full Phosphoro, then, if he gets Castle? Is there a world where he mines stone on the way up, throws down a castle, and goes berserks? He's defending the Vils so far. He's not going to have any more production on the way up. Hera will overwhelm him in numbers. It's already 20 to 8 military. Here's foraging for Hera. Has the double armor, has all the blacksmith upgrades now. Leary will be off of gold. That gold is right near the TC and he can't take it. And Hera's like, let's YOLO these towers down. A couple of nice houses to make the men-at-arms less efficient, but one tower. Oh, Leary. No food income now for Leary. Okay, he's got 6 fills on another group of shorefish on the side. Hera, oh, what are we gonna do? Knights? Is that the only thing he can do? Knights? He can go to another gold. That one feels safer because it's not by the hill. Yeah, it is looking 4-2 for Hera. I guess at least it's 2. Yeah, at least it wasn't a sweep. But the tower's down. And I mean, we got to the end of the drafts and the civs were not looking good for Leary at that point. There's still Romans and Wei on the board for Hera. I'm still thinking it probably would have been better to go Mongols on Valley and Malians on High Tides, but now Leary has to figure something out. The Skirm's hitting the forward gold. Double stable Knights, that's his only option with his remaining food. Hera's about to click up. Maybe we'll wall, and I think he needs at least 4 Knights before he can fight properly. Maybe he can run forward with the Knights and try to raid Vils and get even. No, this is his chance. This is his chance. He needs to fight with the Knights and fight in a way that he clears Hera's army. But could lose his blacksmith. That's a lot of men-at-arms. And he's not going to fight that. He's going to go forward. I guess that's probably the right decision. He can't quite fight those numbers. You can go to the fish. That tower will slow down the raid, though. Knights have 1 armor. Fletching's in on the tower. And the men-at-arms have found the food Vils. Well, that'll cut the knight production now if Leary doesn't have food. He's still trying to find more spots for mills. But the knights really don't want to fight under the garrisoned tower. He could have gotten another Vil there. Hera will stay safe from the knights. Yeah, Leary desperately hoping Hera has Vils somewhere else, but he doesn't. Maybe he's hoping that Hera suicides everything to the TC. That'd really be his only chance here. Foraging for the knights as Leary's running out of food. A couple more knights in the queue. Once Hera gets up, he does longsword and armor again. At least there's a counter raid for Leary, but he's actually gotten the first Vil kill of the game there. And he should be able to get a second. He's still fighting by the tower. I mean, unless he commits to destroying the tower, which maybe he has to do with 4 knights, then he can keep Hera completely off of food for the moment. Hera doesn't have any farms. Maybe this is one of those Hera, make sure you put down a few farms so you don't lose your food suddenly situations. Vil's trying to attack the knights. Knights should turn and fight them. And the Vils hop in, spears come over, so yes, the futility of trying to destroy the tower. And there, Hera is up. What upgrades does he do? Elite Skirm, Longsword, all tempting. Monastery for Leary. Leary has just kept trying to find more mill locations. So 1k more res collected for Hera. Oddly enough, it's only a 4 vil difference. This is not walled, but it will be. Okay, the Knights could... Wait a minute, Leary could take a good fight here. Well, how will this fight go? Will Hera lose his army to the Knights? Will Hera lose his army to the Knights? Pikemen and Squires, but that means no skirm upgrade. All of a sudden, Hera just lost everything. Hera just lost everything. Hera has no food income almost. And that 2 HP scout has been crazy value for him. Can Leary... Oh, no, Hera runs it away. Okay, well, Hera overchop? No, I mean, he has overchopped. Okay, wait just a minute, wait just a minute. Will Hera quick wall? Will he quick wall? Oh, he's running the Vils. Oh, those Knights have forging. Oh, this could be a massacre all of a sudden. This could be a massacre. There'll probably be 1 conversion, but Leary will tank it to kill more Vils. Leary has a Vil lead. He'll kill that converted Knight. And is this again Hera trying to go pikemen against Knights in early Castle Age? He, of all people, should know not to do that. And he did lose everything to a few Knights. Viking Knights! What is this economy? Wheelbarrow, handcart, not a single farm. Doesn't matter. Leary healing the Knights. Up waiting for players' game paused. Okay. Thanks, DE. Oh, that's a full HP scout. Leary now. Remember, Hera's score was scouting for the most part. He will get a second TC up. That might be exposed to Knights, though. Leary trying to raid both sides with Knights. Can he maybe get Hera looking at those Knights and at the same time stop the TC? He doesn't see the TC. Yeah, now free handcart on top of this. No eco upgrade at all for Hera. Wait a minute, Hera does not have an eco upgrade. Oh, he's trying to quick wall. Leary will lose a couple nice conversions, though. Trying to jump the monks. Oh, nice walls from Hera. Nice walls. The monks from the... Or the Knights from the back will get a monk. Or he'll get the monk somehow. But now the Knights are running amok in his eco. That tower is still there. The Knights might finally be able just to take a fight and stop the tower against the pikemen. Maybe not with the converted Knights in the back, though. And now Hera with the second TC. Leary's got to be careful about the eco situation, but he's still super far ahead as the Vikings. And he's pulled ahead and res collected. He has 2 mangonels in the workshop now. He's going to go all in to push. He doesn't need extra TCs. He's the Vikings. Such a weird turnaround. Oh, it's what Phosphoro showed us. Castle Age is an advantage. And Leary did the only thing he could do. Knights. It's the only way he gets a huge advantage against the Feudal Age units. There's a Vil down. Can he get a good mangonel hit on the Vils? Hera's running. Another Vil down to mangonels. And this is where conversions really hurt, because it means Hera suddenly gets a unit that can fight the mangonels. And deletes from the back. As Leary's getting more Vils. Double bit axe, finally an eco upgrade for Hera. Nice hit on the light cav. Doesn't kill it though. And Leary quick wall this. And Hera finds a Vil somehow. Leary's gonna come back with the mangonels. Town Watch, Iron Casting. This is where I'd probably want a couple of pikemen. If I were Leary, just to protect the mangonels. So Bloodlines for Hera. I don't know who wins the Civ matchup in the long run. So it might be a situation Leary has to push. Ram against the Palisade Gate, let's go. Yeah, me monks, redemption but no sanctity, so the mangonels splatter them. 1 hit and the monks die. Bloodlines for Hera. Romans will have the better knights. Gate will not last long. And Hera will wall behind this. But here comes the ram push. Leary needs to get gold. He's out of gold. He has a second TC in the back, though. Build count still even. Far ahead in eco upgrades. He's almost 1k res ahead. This is looking pretty good for him. I wonder if Hera... Oh my gosh, the monks. Oof. That would have been one heck of a mangonel shot. Here you're getting some good hits. Oh wait, are those Vils trapped to the mangonels? They are. Oh, the mangonels. They need to hit the monks. Hera trying to go knights himself. He won't have the eco that Leary does, though. Wheelbarrow and handcart will now pay off more because, well, I would say it's farm time, but it's not farm time yet. Okay, oh, there's a conversion. That's the downside of the converted knights. They wreck your own mangonels. I don't know what those mangonels are shooting at that knight. Only Nilly can save the mangonels, but they get away. They managed to block them in. And, well, we're seeing how the map works. So exposed in the back to the night raids. Light Cav hit by the mangonels. Monk wants a conversion on the Light Cav. Or on the scouts. Light Cav for Leary. Remember, Vikings do not have access to husbandry, so their scouts will be a bit slower. Leary going for a third TC. So is Hera, so third TC at the same time. Both of them feel like it's time for TCs. Does Leary know about this TC? If he does, he could push it from the hill. Leary trying to fight knights with mangonels. Light Cav, can they get a monk? They get one. Well, that helps out. Heavy monk down helps. Leary with Light Cav still somehow hasn't seen this TC. Now the mangonels are dead. And this is where if you're Vikings, you're thinking maybe full knight spam can work, but you're Viking knights. They're not good. And he sees the TC down here. He sees it. Will he swing by and try to raid it? Or will he pull back? I think it's more important that he fights Hera's army now. But he's gonna see there are too many vills to garrison. And will this be a good decision? Killing the vills and sacrificing knights. If you're Vikings, you might not want to go knights in the long run anyway. He'll take the hill and clear this army. Will he have enough left over to raid vills afterwards? If he had +2 armor, maybe. Hera at least doesn't have Bodkin, and he has to run away from the knights again. So he sees another TC at the same time he's killing more vills. Okay, 10 vill lead for Leary. 10 vills, wheelbarrow, and handcart. And I think Leary has this game. He'll add in a 4th TC. And somehow, someway, he was almost dead. If Hera could have stopped 2 to 4 knights in early castle, he would have been super far ahead. But the desperation castle age for Leary did it. 29 to 1 eco KD. This is looking like a Gabby game here. The swing is so extreme it feels low elo. Now that's... I think players need to pay attention to those Phosphoro builds more. Okay, Hera should not get free vills here. Oh my gosh. Leary, realize, fight with the vills. Oh no, Leary. What is this? This Light Cav is gonna just even up the vill difference, isn't it? One freaking Light Cav. Oh, another night raid on this TC. Too many vills to garrison again. Hera will lose more. Yeah, holes in Hera's walls, too. Remember, it's AoE2. There's always a hole. That Vil just thinking, hopefully they don't see me. Oh, they saw him. Vil goes down. Knight goes down. And another TC for Leary. 5 TC Viking boom. Just needs some heavy plow. Just needs heavy plow. How do Berserks do against Legionaries? I guess either way they wouldn't want to fight Scorpions. Hera's cooked. Well, he will have to hope that he has the way to victory in Game 7. Oh, what are those conversions? What are those conversions? Well, he's getting to knights himself. Romans double stables will have better knights. Monks go for conversions. Here's squires. Vil killed by knights. There are a few Vils over here. He doesn't want to lose them. Hera's gonna find them though. Or he might be distracted by the stable. So 38 to 6 eco KD, and somehow Hera only 10 vills down. I'll make it more like 15 with the wheelbarrow difference. Should I go for something other than knights? That's tricky because the map is so open, the knights are able to raid. And if he has the better eco, he can outnumber the knights, and yeah, he won't have bloodlines or husbandry. But Hera hasn't been making progress on his upgrades yet either for the knights. So still some room to take fights. And if you're the Vikings, you only have pikemen, so it's kind of awkward to fight knights in the long run. You really want to make an archer transition, but that means you're not using your farming eco. And 11 vills on stone. Hera might be able to go for a castle drop. Leary probably needs a defensive castle somewhere. I don't know if he wants to react and wait for Hera to do the first one. You could also go for like a castle just directly in the middle, but then Hera kind of bypasses it. Maybe he just needs to castle drop Hera. He's making a swap to pikemen. Viking pikemen will have extra HP. And we'll also just provide a low value unit for the monks to be distracted on. And there's Leary with a castle. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of scared of, though. Legions and Scorpions, I think, fight the Vikings very well late game. And he's doing armor now for the pikemen, and he wants one big push before the Scorpions come out. He's doing a forward castle, and with 3 rams, he can go for the workshop. I'm confident the Romans are going Scorpions rather than mangonels. And this is one heck of a choke point here. Awkward to ram the workshop too because of the gold behind it. And the knights have gotten through, and they're getting to the monks. This is what Leary has finally wanted after all this time. To kill the monks, but 2 conversions come in. Clutch conversions. Oh, Leary's not devoted. He's not devoted. He's pushing, though. He's pushing, despite the lack of devotion. He's still pushing. He has the castle drop. Hera can do a castle wherever he wants, though. He can do a counter-forward castle. And that's exactly what he's doing. Can Leary wall this off? If Leary notices... Oh, he does wall it off. He notices. He walls it off. He has some anti-castle houses going up. Hera, the vills won't get there. And if Leary could maybe swing by with knights and fight them... There's the castle. Leary, anti-castle houses, let's go. He's saying, no, you're not going to castle me. I don't think it fits over here. Wheelbarrow finally for Hera. 28 to 15 military. The ram push continues. Desperation castle. Trying to find room for it. Leary needs some more HP on the gate. The knights are there, and he's found a spot, but that is not where he wanted it. It won't actually hit the TC. He'll need Bodkin for that. He has so many converted knights, too. 29 to 13 military. Where is Leary's military? It feels like he doesn't have any. It's all pikemen. That's all pikemen. Now we're berserk. That stable will go down. It's close. It does go down to the ram. Long swords now for Hera. This is so tricky for Leary because Hera actually has an eco. Both of them thinking of imp now. Lots of pikemen, but the long swords will be able to fight that. Hera might still find a way to win this game. Leary needs somehow to raid in the back, but I don't think he can do that anymore. The time for Viking Knights, I think, has passed. And Hera clicks up to imp. Leary clicks up too. Leary 39k to 32k res collected. Ahead in KD, 50 to 17 eco KD. It feels like he should be able to win this, but I don't like the Civ matchup all that much. I don't know if he can go berserks against the Romans. PKE. Leary has all the advantages, but I have a hard time seeing a winning build. Yeah, so the Centurions now, or at least they'll be fighting pikemen. Neither Civ... But yeah, the Romans have halbs. So the Viking pikemen will have extra HP. Let's see. Leary might need to rewall behind that house. Will be tricky with monks. And, oh, that is a castle from Leary that will not go up. But the Berserks and the Rams might see the castle from Hera. He sees it. He sees it, and all of a sudden, this might be a doubt castle from Hera. Leary, push with the rams. There's quite a few longswords, though, but longswords should lose to berserks. I don't know about legionaries, but longswords will lose to berserks. And Leary will take the hill against the castle. Can he push this castle? He's doing his own castle, and at least with the rams, we'll get a damage advantage before the Trebor. Hera's sending more vills to repair. He's also raiding Leary's eco with knights. Can Leary get enough pikemen to stop this in a converted berserk? 33 to 20 military, yet somehow it feels like Hera still has more military. All the pikemen are in the rams. This castle's lost a lot of HP. And that means the Trebor should favor Leary. Get a Treb on a hill and take it down. Hera trying to claim more stone. This castle will start pumping out Trebs for Hera. Still Leary. Floating wood and gold. Don't think he can think about an Arbalest swap, though. Now Hera's basically evened up the military and has a higher quality military. Not enough berserks. This is now the downside of the Vikings. You're always just wondering, what unit do I go for? And our pikemen the answer. Hera can get everywhere he wants and raid with knights. Leary hasn't seen the gold in the back. Will the castle see that gold? That'll be clutch if the castle sees the gold. And legionaries. Legionaries are good against infantry. Do they beat the unique unit infantry, though? There's another defensive castle for Leary, trying to stop the raids. He needs to get castles up. And he could be losing this castle. This castle's so low on HP. But he doesn't have a way to defend the Trebs if he ungarrisons. And does the castle see that he sees the gold in the back? It's in his vision. That is clutch, but he's being raided all over. He still has 9k more res collected than Hera. He gets slightly atop the hill. He has berserks to defend the Treb. He needs to fight this army in the back. Legionary's still not in. And this will be a fight under a castle. Are there enough berserks? That legionary upgrade looms large in this fight. Leary does not want to be downhill. He's doing what he can to wall the Trebs. Is there enough castle fire in the back? How are the berserks doing? They're being melted when they're downhill. The legionary upgrade comes in. And Hera's about to take the score lead as Leary can't stop these raids. He can't defend the Trebs. Hera fully repairs his castle. This castle will go down to 3 Trebs. Or wait, what just happened there? Did they have a unit there that just died? Well, 2 Trebs still will out-damage those vills. Leary cannot push the castles from Hera. He's losing TCs. He still has the better KD and more res collected, but now how does he fight legionaries? He doesn't have any archers out, and I think it's too late for him to go arbs. Yeah, this is about what I expected with Imp. Part of me wonders, maybe we saw a point when Leary, he was floating a bunch of res before going Imp. Maybe the play would have been continue the Castle Age push. Go for rams and just more knights. Rams and longswords, maybe? He never really dealt the killing blow to Hera. Now there are Elite Berserk versus Legionary. I fear the Legionaries win this. Maybe my fears are unfounded, though. And it's okay, we have some Elite Berserks. I mean, if Elite Berserk works, then Leary's still in the game. And he can pick off some Trebs now. And he's getting the final armor for them now. Hera's still missing blacksmith upgrades for the Legionaries. What is their attack bonus? It is +4 against infantry. They have one more HP than the Berserks do. But less attack overall. Armor now, so maybe Leary's still okay. They don't have their charge attack yet. Maybe with the charge attack they do better. Is the unique tech in? No on all accounts. Neither chieftains nor committed tenseis. And then there's also ballistas for scorpions, which could be scary. But Hera takes the score lead now. And he's repairing the Treb against the Vills. Leary has to repair it. Leary now depends on castles, though, for the Berserks. And he has to hope that Berserk is the winning unit. Nice conversion there. I think Leary actually not being devoted for most of the game was huge when Hera was going for the monk defense. There's Arson for Leary. There were so many times it felt like Hera got 1 or 2 quick conversions that would have been stopped with Devotion. But Leary defending the castle. Arson on the way for Berserks. Could he destroy castles with Berserks? Does Hera need to do murder holes? Let's see. There's no save without murder holes, right? Yeah, okay. He could have it. Castles are standing for Leary, despite the trebs. Remember, no cannon for either of these civs. Just castles and rams. And Hera's eco rated now by the Berserks. Legionaries, I guess whoever has the numbers wins the fight. Leary being raided, Hera being raided. Hera trying to do a panic defensive castle in his eco. Had to buy 500 stone, though. He doesn't have the eco to keep buying stone. This is where the eco, the long-term economy, might start paying off for Leary. And he is raiding with the Berserks. He's saying, okay, you know what? You can take this castle. I will raid your eco and kill everything. And I will also fall back and do more castles, reamass more Berserks, and fight your legionaries under this castle. And he'll try to take the fight under the castle. The reinforcements from home, he might need to send Vils to repair the castle. It's only 1 Treb though. Some Vils, or some Berserks that are raiding could go destroy the Treb. This is a decent fight for Leary, I think, still? And that castle will stand for a while when it's only 1 Treb. He's losing the Berserks, though, at the same time. Killing the eco from Hera. At the same time, Hera defending, though. Is this the wrong decision to raid with Berserks? He needed to save his castle. He's sending Vils forward to repair now. That was not the fight he needed. Still no committed Tenseis. But blacksmith upgrades have been added for Hera. Now it's 12 plus 4 against 14 plus 4, and the Berserks will, I guess, be at 2 less attack. Legionaries have more armor, too. But the Treb finally will be destroyed. As Leary can't really raid. And I think that in the long run, Romans should have the better light cav raids because they do have access to fully upgraded light cav. Viking light cav are nothing to write home about. They miss the final armor, they miss husbandry, they miss bloodlines. And so far, Hera with a castle in the corner sees that Leary's there. Okay, Leary, I don't think that TC lasts for long. But lots of castles up with civs who are not good at pushing castles. It's so hard to see what's going on once they get stacked. Another Berserk raid. Still no chieftains. I mean, extra gold for killing Vils could be nice. I don't know why it says defeating Vils instead of killing. But, yeah, Leary not going to overstay his welcome in that fight. Doesn't want to fight the legions. So both players drop into 150 pop. Leary thinking, let's destroy that Treb. Should be able to get it. Yeah, Leary will lose that TC. And he's not going for the Treb, he's going for the castle. Oh wait, could he destroy a castle with Berserks? Could he destroy a castle with Berserks? Wait, what is this? What is this? There's some Vils for repairing there. Is Leary gonna destroy that castle? He needs to still get ahead in army. Hera has to go repair. Here's murder holes for Hera. Murder holes is clutch there, and Leary has to get back. Murder holes saves it. I really do dislike the fact they made murder holes research faster. I think they should have left. I like that you have to prepare for murder holes. But anyway, fight on top of the hill. Centurion goes down. There's handcart finally for Hera, who is ahead in KD. But Leary pulling ahead in pop now. Pulling ahead in pop. Could maybe take a fight against these legionaries if he has production. His foot's on the gas in terms of production. He's still got 26 Vils on gold. And there's a ton of gold around the outside of the map. And there's a ton of gold there. Doesn't want to fight under the castle, though. Yeah, murder hole's OP. Okay, stacked up. What is this patrol stack from Leary? Does the patrol stack win the fight? He's somewhat under the castle. This is a good fight for Leary, I think. And I think Leary can repair, or can replenish his army better than Hera can. Well, let's see. How's the fight going? That was good, slightly for Leary, maybe? Both players dropping in population. Hera struggling. At the same time, he's being raided, though. At the same time, there are raids coming in on his eco. At the same time, there are raids. He's still at 125 vills. He's constantly queuing vills. Both of them are. Against all the raids. Here's castle being... Oh my gosh, Louis, you gotta repair that castle and snipe the trebs. Where are your berserks at? He's gonna need 10 berserks to snipe the trebs. All of his berserks are on the other side. He's trying to push one of Hera's castles. That castle is downhill. No bracer for the Romans at least helps out Leary in these fights, but Leary's losing the fight to the legionaries. This unit is made from the barracks and is better than the unique unit. Leary also trickled the Treb, and he lost the castle, and that'll hurt his berserk production down to 4 castles. He's dropping in pop to Hera. This is the first time I've ever seen legionaries in a game at this level, and they are doing incredibly well against the berserks. So far, Leary has not managed to snipe off Hera's castles, and Hera's managed every so often to pick off a castle here and there. And Leary has to be careful with those trebs. Trebs for Hera going to the other side. I don't think berserks are cheaper, no. I mean, this is just the swordsman line. I think the legionaries have to be cheaper than berserks. And Leary has so many more resources collected. I mean, is there ever a chance for Leary to make an arbalest swap? Like, you do one range, slowly work on the techs, and there is committed tenseis, and as that comes in, the legionaries start to win the fights hard. Leary's gonna lose this castle. And it feels like all the raids he's done hasn't managed to stop Hera's eco. Still himself does not have chieftains, which would have been nice for the raids. But doesn't actually help against the legionaries. Maybe against the centurions, but... One more fight, and how does this fight go? Hera will wait for committed tenseis. Didn't keep up with infantry buffs. That and just the fact that legionaries have an attack bonus against infantry, and now they also have a charge attack, and these berserks are getting slaughtered, aren't they? The castle even getting some shots on them in the rear. 34 to 37, so the numbers are close. What's happening in this fight? More berserks trickling in for Leary. Who's winning the fight? It's close. I think things are starting to snowball for Hera. And there go the berserks. Hera wins the fight and wins it hard. He's now at 538 to 477 KD. Leary trying to raid again, but the raids are doing nothing. 31 to 54 military. And this game has gone back and forth and back and forth. But the Vikings, I don't think they can end it against the Romans. Berserks are not strong enough. I feel like the only hope for Leary would be somehow if he could go Arbs and time it so that the Scorpion transition doesn't come in. But, I mean, if he did have Bogsviga Arbs, that'd be one thing, but he can't afford it with that KD. Isn't this against the rules? Honestly, the patrol stacking rule was written at a time when patrol stacking was something where you kind of intentionally had to do it. And for two things: one, you're allowed to patrol stack into a fight. You can't just camp a small area with it. And two, it's pretty much impossible not to patrol stack with the current settings. So there's the GG. And Hera will do it. He will win 4-2. Leary had some moments there, but couldn't figure it out at the end. And I think the Civ matchup at the end of the draft really came back to haunt him. GG. GG. This is why I'm honestly advocating. We're going to have an admin rule meeting soon. I'm honestly just advocating like I did before, that the patrol stack rule has no place in a rulebook, because it is impossible to enforce and impossible for players not to do it. But there we are. We have a win for the Romans and a loss for the Vikings. GG. And great finals there. So, and Folder, hello Folder, and GG for hello Jafar, everyone in the chat. Thanks for watching. Very easy not to patrol stack? I mean, yeah, but then you're not patrolling. So it's, you could just never click patrol, but for years, patrol is how you take fights in Age of Empires, and you can't just make a rule that changes that. What if Leary went Onager there? You use attack move? I honestly don't know what the differences between attack move and patrol are right now. They change so much, even though they should like be the same thing. But I don't actually have attack move bound. The way I've always played AoE 2 since like 2012 was you use patrol and you take your fights with patrol, and you swap from stand ground to attack at different moments. Ban the X. I don't think you can reasonably ban the exploit though. I don't think you reasonably can ban it. Could remove stand ground patrol. Well, that's the thing. It's like stand ground patrol is literally how you micro units in Age of Empires. And they've changed like how it works in the game, but I don't think you can reasonably remove it from the game. I like how it was. I think that champs die hard too. I think that champs die hard to legionaries, much harder than berserks do. I don't think that's really an option. But anyway, that'll be it. That'll be it for us. Thank you all for watching. I'll send a raid over to T90. He'll probably do an interview. And we'll be back. Let's see, I don't know if there's anything to stream tomorrow, but we should hopefully have some show matches on the Brazil maps from the Tomorrowland coming up. So I'll see you later. Well, I very strongly disagree with that folder. I think it is utterly ridiculous to ban the patrol move. Alright, and so thank you all for watching.